Chapter 1755. Countless people had gathered together from all directions, from all over the place. All of them were in human form. So many people. There should be more than 100,000 of them. Lin Xian and the rest stood behind. There should be. It seems like the war is about to start. It's finally about to start. They had wasted 2 days here. Of course, if they didn't do this, they might not have fought for a few months. This was a matter of luck, because both sides couldn't do anything to each other. What's the point of fighting? Perhaps one side would suddenly have a whim and launch an attack. Although large-scale battles weren't common, small-scale battles between the two clans would still happen every day. There might be more than 10 battles. Then the 10 of them walked over and joined the crowd. No one knew who they were. With so many people, they couldn't attract too much attention. From now on, they were one of them. They could also become a member of any side. Everyone, the Emperor Sky Python has once again gathered an army in the Plenilune Plain. This time, it will be a rare large-scale battle between our two forces. Next, I want you to use 6 hours to gather all of your forces in the Plenilune Plain. I want to see 1,000,000 people in 6 hours. The old man shouted. Yes, they responded one after another. Good. Those who are free now, go to the Plenilune Plain and prepare for battle. Understood. Lin Xian and the rest looked at each other. The battle was finally about to start. Let's go too. Okay. Then they gathered in the Plenilune Plain. It was very spacious, but it definitely wasn't that simple. In such a big place, a large-scale battle was indeed very exciting. The few girls were also slightly disguised by Lin Xian with the law of creation. They looked ordinary except for their temperament. More and more people gathered here. They could see that far, far away, dust filled the sky. Clearly, there were countless experts gathered there. In the beginning, it was only humans. Later, many demonic beasts came. Even the demonic beasts that hadn't transformed yet came. After all, these demonic beasts were also a part of their powerful combat strength. Wow, we're taking off now. Lin Xian smirked. Just the Azure Venomous Python alone has gathered close to 1,000,000 demonic beast experts and demonic beasts. The Emperor Sky Python is probably the same. With close to 2,000,000 demonic beasts fighting a few more battles, little Yu, you will be able to advance in rank. Morongyu nodded. She was also a little happy because if this didn't happen, she wouldn't have been able to reach the 8th level of her 1,000 ceiling ice pupils if she was still in the human race. Lin Xian then said, you can fight however you want. Little Ling Ling, follow little Yu. Aside from fighting, she needs to spend energy to absorb souls. You have the space, so you can protect her. Wind Chimes glanced at Lin Xian. You're so disgusting. Although she was used to Lin Xian calling her little Yu, little Chuxue, and little Yingying, she couldn't stand it when he suddenly called her little Lingling. Then Wind Chimes mumbled, got it. Yeah. As for the others, form a team of 2 at the very least. Watch over them the entire time. It's best if those with life preservation means are with one who isn't. If anything happens, escape immediately. Reorganize yourself before entering. Got it. Time slowly passed as the Emperor Sky Python race walked over in a dark mass. Above the void, there were hundreds of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of experts standing there. They nearly blotted out the sky. Shwa. On the other side, countless experts from the Azure Venomous Python faction also leaped into the void. Ha ha ha. The Azure Venomous Python's Grand Elder roared with laughter. Lin Xian could not see the Grand Elder's cultivation level clearly. Lin Xian's eye of spiritual insight could see warriors 5 stars higher than him. For Lin Xian to not be able to see it clearly meant that the Grand Elder's cultivation level was at least Heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars. Oh my goodness. But then again, this was the Grand Elder, one of the 18 demon god factions in the entire Fiend God Empire. There was nothing wrong with him being at Heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars. But what Lin Xian didn't know was that this was the first time the Azure Venomous Python and Emperor Sky Python factions had sent such a formidable existence to participate in the battle. This was the first time both sides had Heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars experts. I say, old Tianing, this old man really doesn't get it. Why do you have the guts to attack first? Ha ha ha. the azure venomous python grand elder roared with laughter, his tone full of ridicule. Defeated opponent, this old man doesn't get it either. Why do you dare to stand in front of this old man again? Is it because of your shamelessness? Defeated opponent? I say, old Tianing, you're really shameless. Back then, it took 2 people to beat this old man, but this old man has already lost to you? Ha! The grand elder roared with laughter again. What nonsense are you spouting? Won't we find out soon enough if you're really defeated by this old man? Shwa! Lightning suddenly flashed in the air. The grand elder's eyes narrowed as well. This old man has been waiting for you for a long time. Whoosh! The 2 heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars charged into the air and began to fight. In fact, for Lin Xian and company, participating in such a war had another benefit. It was that they could encounter very powerful existences. Heavenly Dao Realm 5 stars, 6 stars, or even 7 stars. For example, there were now 2 Heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars. Then they would have a rough idea of the strength of martial artists at this level. As the 2 peak existences began to fight, the battle below soon began as well. Charge for this sovereign. Kill them all. Charge. Once we kill them, the entire Monarch Sky Pythons faction will have the opportunity to become our faction. Kill. In the blink of an eye, 2 million people charged towards each other, and the entire place fell into complete chaos. Lin Xian said to the people beside him, "Group up in pairs. Don't show any mercy. There aren't many people here who will pay special attention to us. Kill as many as you can. Xiao Yuhan, use your fog of darkness if you want to, but it's best if you don't get discovered." Roger that. Whoosh, then the 10 of them joined the battle. The 10 of them weren't too eye-catching in the midst of an army of 2 million. But to be honest, Lin Xian and Morong Yu were rather eye-catching. After all, even with an army of 2 million, the number of Heavenly Dao Realm experts on both sides was limited. How could there be more than 1,000 Heavenly Dao Realm experts in total? Regardless, as long as they were at the Heavenly Dao Realm, they would be eye-catching. As for Morong Yu, she killed ruthlessly. Chapter 1756. Morong Yu's 1,000 sealing ice eyes was perfectly suited for such a battlefield, just like Wu Yuhan and Wu Yunua's dark mist. It had a huge range and super destructive power, and Morong Yu had also released the power of her 1,000 sealing ice eyes. Most importantly, in such a chaotic battlefield, as long as she didn't release her 1,000 sealing ice eyes too horrifying, it wouldn't attract too much attention. As everyone was fighting passionately, all kinds of wind, fire and lightning crackled. There was no lack of powerful forces, so Morong Yu's release didn't attract too much attention. Many people didn't even know who released it. What was the most satisfying thing? For Lin Xian and the rest, they didn't have to think about only attacking the Monarch Heavenly Python clan. They could also attack the Azure Venom Pythons. After all, they would attack whoever they could. They were here to train and level up, not to help any side. Time slowly passed. Such a large-scale chaotic battle would probably take a very long time. Lin Xian had just finished off a great virtual realm 10-star. As for Lin Xian, he did not focus on the Heavenly Dao Realm. This was because killing a Heavenly Dao Realm expert required a lot of effort. Furthermore, it would attract attention. Therefore, Lin Xian's basic goal was to reach the upper levels of the Great Void Realm. Lin Xian had killed a few Monarch Heavenly Python faction's great virtual realm experts. A few Monarch Heavenly Python faction experts appeared behind him. After all, Lin Xian had killed quite a number of people, so they had noticed him. Then Lin Xian killed a few Azure Venom Pythons beside him with a flip of his hand. Those experts who were about to attack Lin Xian were stunned. What was the meaning of this? After killing the Monarch Heavenly Python faction's experts, he killed the Azure Venom Python faction's experts? No, was there a third faction? That was strange. Should he make a move? Thinking about it, they decided not to. Let's see how the situation goes. A day and night passed. Lin Xian and company rested countless times and killed countless people. Both sides simultaneously entered a period of rest and reorganization. Both sides took a step back and settled down to rest and recuperate far away from each other. Lin Xian and the others sat together. How is it? Lin Xian asked. They were also covered in blood, but most of it was the enemy's blood. Very efficient. Xiao Xingyue said. While they increased their experience, Morongyu increased her 1,000 sealing ice pupils. Their efficiency was simply unparalleled. Just like that, they stayed on the battlefield for a month. It had been half a year since they left the human race. In the past month, Wu Yunhua had also advanced to the heavenly Dao realm. Out of the 10 people, 3 of them had advanced to the heavenly Dao, and it had already been close to half a year. Morongyu's 1,000 ice pupils was already on the verge of breaking through to the 8th level. That night, they gathered in a city. Should we continue to kill? Lingying asked while eating a lollipop. What do you guys think? Lin Xian asked. This was because their main goal in coming here was to advance to the heavenly Dao realm. Now 3 of them had already advanced, leaving 7 people behind. If they were to forcefully continue fighting on the battlefield, it was impossible for all of them to advance in half a year. Most importantly, these factions had already fought enough over the past month. It was likely that they would enter a period of truce. Over the past month, we have been constantly moving between the various factions, constantly participating in the battles between the various factions, grinding monsters, and raising our strength. However, I feel that such methods are already rather limited. This is because whether they fight or not does not depend on us. And if we were to forcefully think of a way to make them fight, it won't be easy. Morongyu's 1,000 sealing ice pupils is about to advance, so our goal is nearly achieved. Zhuge Ling nodded. Zhuge Feng nodded. I think it's time for another one. Lin Xian, you're the captain. What do you think? But what else is there? Lin Xian thought for a moment. Why don't we split up? Wu Yunhua said. There's still half a year. Let's split up into 5 groups. 5 months later, we will gather at Fei Wen City and fight in the death arena. After a month, we will return to the human race. Lin Xian stroked his chin. But that's too dangerous. That's why it's called training. After all, those people before us did not form a team. Zhuge Feng said, I agree with that, but everyone has to know that our situation is much more dangerous than those people. They then looked at Lin Xian. They were waiting for Lin Xian to make a decision. I think that makes sense. Lin Xian. They stood up. Then that's it? Lin Xian nodded. All right, that's it. You have to be careful. If there's anything, feel free to contact me. All right. Lin Xian looked outside. Then let's set off while it's still dark. Where to? In such a big place, where can't we go? No matter what kind of place it is, there will always be strong and weak. What's more, virtuous virtual realm 10 stars is not weak. Okay. That's it then. 5 months later, we'll meet in Fei Wen City. Lin Xian needs to respect their decision. What's more, Lin Xian himself knows that everyone has been fighting here for a long time this month. Where they can continue to fight, where they can gain experience, everything is unknown. If there are no forces nearby to fight, they can only watch helplessly and waste time. It's better for everyone to split up and seek their own experience. Okay. Late at night, the 10 of them went in 10 directions. They don't know where everyone is going, but they feel that there are always places to go and things to encounter. After Lin Xian left the city, he also headed in a certain direction. Lin Xian doesn't know where this direction leads, but it is the direction that the woman called Mu Qianshuang left that night. In Lin Xian's eyes, she is Xue Qilin. Maybe they will meet, maybe they won't. Like them, Lin Xian doesn't know where to go and what to encounter. But this may be the right path. The idea they suddenly put forward was implemented in just a few minutes, and they split up. Perhaps in the eyes of each of them, this was the right path. Because although they are a team, but sometimes they rely on Lin Xian alone or a few people. Everyone is indispensable, but everyone has to improve themselves. Therefore, they all agreed to this idea without prior consultation. 3 days later, Lin Xian came to a city he doesn't know where it is. But Lin Xian knows that this place should be thousands of kilometers away from Azure Venom Python's forces. Because in the past 3 days, Lin Xian used spatial force a lot. Anyway, he doesn't know where to go, so he has to go a bit further. But Lin Xian feels that this city is different from others. Chapter 1757. Why did Lin Xian feel that this city was different from other cities? The reason was that Lin Xian scanned them, and saw that they were all at the heavenly Tao realm. These heavenly Tao realm existences appeared to be from the city. Most of them were at the 1-star heavenly Tao realm, and a few were at the 2-star heavenly Tao realm. However, Lin Xian had never seen such a number before. Of course, other than those at the heavenly Tao realm, there were many at the Great Void realm and above. Basically, the Great Void realm was at the lowest realm. They looked like they came from many places, but they seemed to be gathered here for a particular reason. Lin Xian was a heavenly Tao after all. He went over without a word. Everyone, for this Fey God Forbidden Grounds trial, I wish for us to be united. This is because there will be countless experts competing with us. And once they are united while we are not, we will be at a complete disadvantage from the beginning. Said an elder. Yes, I think Supremacy Nanshan's words make sense. At the very least, we have to stick together when we can travel together. Other than the Fey God Forbidden Grounds being terrifying, we do have to be wary of others plotting against us. Yes. Everyone nodded. The Fey God Forbidden Grounds happens once every 100 years. It's not a long time, but it's not a short time either. We have to seize every opportunity. If we can obtain a creation, then even if we are at the heavenly Tao realm, our realms will soar. Even if our realms don't soar, we will be able to obtain a top spirit artifact from ancient times. That's something these spirit artifacts can't compare with. Yes, let's cooperate. Lin Xian pondered behind them. Oh my. He seemed to have encountered something rather impressive for some baffling reason. Sigh. If he had known, everyone would have come together. However, the massive Fey race probably had no lack of such powerful beings. Now what Lin Xian wanted to know was what kind of place the Fey God Forbidden Grounds was. The Fey God was very powerful, so the words Forbidden Grounds were very impressive. Lin Xian then secretly took out his cell phone and gave Linglong Shui a call. Xiao Linglong. What's the matter? Asked Linglong Shui. She thought that something had happened to Lin Xian again. I met some people here talking about some Demon God Forbidden Grounds. What kind of place is this Demon God Forbidden Grounds? Linglong Shui said. It's a rather important place for the Fey race. The Fey God Forbidden Ground has existed for tens of thousands of years. Legend has it that there are countless Fey race Fey gods from ancient times. They are all existences at the heavenly Tao realm 7 stars and above. However, all of them have perished. They left their heritage and life's work in the Fey God Forbidden Ground. Future generations can enter the Fey God Forbidden Ground, and under unimaginable dangers, have a chance of obtaining top heritage or treasures from ancient times. Isn't this similar to the ruins? More or less, but the ruins belong to one person. There might be hundreds or even thousands of people here. Those people in the Demon God Forbidden Grounds might also be looking for someone they think is suitable. Linglong Shui said. Have you been there before? Lin Xian asked. Yes, once in 100 years. There are still many opportunities. I've been there 3 times, and only once did I obtain a spiritual artifact. You didn't obtain anything. Linglong Shui shook her head. It's rather difficult and very dangerous. Back then, I was at the Great Void Realm. I've been there 3 times, and according to what I know, in the past 1,000 years, few people have obtained the true heritage there. However, those who obtained it became extremely powerful. Then can I go? Yes. You are at the heavenly Tao realm, and you have spatial attributes. You can give it a try. Even the heritage of the Fey race is equally useful to you humans, except for some things that can only be released by Fey powers. However, you are a human, so I can't be certain if they are willing to give their heritage to a human. Linglong Shui said. That's fine. Give it a try. You have to give it a try if you encounter it. Remember to be careful. It's extremely terrifying inside. Even heavenly Tao realm existences are like ants in there. They are easily annihilated. Every time you enter, you will encounter something different. There's even an absolute door of death. Death is certain after entering. As Lin Xian had the Eye of Cave Spirit, he wanted to give it a try. Got it. Then Lin Xian hung up. Go. With the Eye of Cave Spirit there, it was definitely very useful in such a place. If he did not go, Lin Xian would look down on himself. The group of experts added up to more than 1,000 people. It was unknown what they were discussing, but as they chatted, they seemed to reach an agreement. Everyone, it's about time. We should set off. All right, let's set off together. Then, the crowd rushed in a particular direction. Lin Xian followed behind the crowd in a low-key manner. More than an hour later, they arrived at a place that was like a paradise. There were green mountains and clear waters, waterfalls and rivers. It was truly beautiful, especially when paired with the blue sky and white clouds. It made one feel refreshed. By the time they arrived, there were more than 10,000 people gathered here. Lin Xian swept his gaze. Whoa! There were so many people. It was a lot more lively than Lin Xian imagined. No, there are so many people every time. But how many years has it been since someone obtained the heritage inside? It's quite impressive. Lin Xian did not think that he would definitely obtain the heritage. His thoughts were simple. He did not have a single decent spiritual weapon on him. Of course, other than his sword. However, there were too many types of spiritual weapons with various effects. They were especially powerful, especially those spiritual weapons from ancient times. They were definitely even more powerful. Lin Xian felt that with his Eye of Cave Spirit, he should be able to obtain a spiritual weapon, right? Lin Xian took a look. There were so many people. It was obvious that there were many factions. Some factions would send a large number of experts to protect someone, so that he or she could obtain the treasure or heritage in the demon god Forbidden Ground. Obviously, this was a very powerful place. However, due to its difficulty and danger, many people were discouraged from entering. However, everyone knew in their hearts how precious the treasures inside were. How powerful were the treasures inside? Lin Xian took a look. Most of them were young people. And in the beginning, Lin Xian believed that the weakest was at the Great Void Realm. But in fact, there were many domain realm cultivators here. Lin Xian knew that these people were probably here to seek opportunities. Their bloodlines were insufficient, resulting in most of them having no hope of advancing to the heavenly Dao realm. There were even some who had no hope of advancing to the Great Void Realm their entire lives. In this world where strength reigns supreme, they also imagined that they could obtain opportunities in such a dangerous place, allowing them to advance to a higher realm. Even if it was dangerous, who could be certain about opportunities? Chapter 1758. Mt Tianyao. A woman arrived at this place. Master. She bowed respectfully. Make a trip to the Fey God Forbidden Grounds. There was no one, only a voice. And if Lin Xian were here, he would definitely recognize her. This was because Linglong Shui had brought Lin Xian here to seek the experts' help in divining Lin Ye's situation. That's right, it was this mountain. And this mountain was none other than Mt Tianyao. What does the Fey God Forbidden Grounds need me to do? The voice did not have any emotions, only respect. Find a human youth named Lin Xian. I want you to persuade him to come to Mt Tianyao and become my disciple. Yes. Wait. I don't want you to specifically seek him out. The woman knitted her brows. Master, do you mean for me to inadvertently approach him and get him to come to Mt Tianyao? Yes. Yes. Then she vanished from her spot. Although she did not know why her master would do such a thing, it was normal. If her master wanted him to be her disciple, all she needed to do was tell him directly. No one would reject it. She was a little perplexed as to why her master would do something so superfluous, but she definitely had her reasons. And why would she do something so superfluous? This was because she had calculated that if she were to directly get him to come to Mt Tianyao to accept him as a disciple, the chances of Lin Xian rejecting her was 80%. However, if she were to get her disciple to inadvertently bring Lin Xian here, and through certain means, the chances of success were 80%. Therefore, she chose the method with the highest chance of success. And why did she want to take in Lin Xian as her disciple? In fact, she had long noticed Lin Xian. She had even inferred that Lin Xian would come to her with Linglong Shui. Of course, most importantly, the time had come. Lin Xian had also advanced to the heavenly Dao realm. Outside the Fey God Forbidden Grounds, more and more people arrived. Lin Xian had actually sent a message to Ling Ying and the others about this matter. Their unified response was that they weren't coming. For a martial artist, the so-called opportunity was a very illusory thing. How should he put it? So what if he encountered a fortuitous encounter? It was something that could only be chanced upon and not sought. This was a place that Lin Xian had encountered. Although it could be said that they had encountered this place, they still wanted to go there themselves. Moreover, they might be able to obtain some good things from this place, but the chances were too low. They would rather not come. Lin Xian would definitely respect their wishes. 5 months was neither a long time nor a short time. There was indeed a chance to encounter a fortuitous encounter, especially in a place like the demon race. In 5 months, it was basically impossible for one to obtain any fortuitous encounter in the human race. However, it was not necessarily the case in the demon race. This was because the two territories had two different views of the world. One was a place that had already been developed, and the other was a place that no one had been to for many years. Moreover, there were many dangerous places among the demon race, but at the same time, they were recognized as places with great opportunities. Where can't he go? Mu Qianshuang had also come to this place. That's right, her opponent was MT Heavenly Demon. Her master and that person from MT Heavenly Demon had been rivals for many years. They had their own destinies, and once they completed their destinies, they would allow their disciples to complete their destinies. The so-called destinies were actually a competition between their disciples. Who won and who lost? She came purely because Lin Xian was coming. It was not that she cared about Lin Xian, but her master had said that this Lin Xian was very likely to be her future rival. There were two paths she could take. She could either kill him or become his rival. Do you understand the feeling of loneliness? In the entire demon race, she was not the strongest, but in her generation, she did not have many opponents, much less a match for a human. She had always wanted to compete with the experts of the human race. This was because it was always said that the human race might not have a high starting point, but they had the highest potential. Furthermore, it was said that he was a full attribute. To be honest, she took this opponent seriously. For the human race, the demon god Forbidden Ground might not be so humane. She felt that this Lin Xian might die here, so she came to take a look. By the way, she also wanted to see if she could get some opportunities in the demon god Forbidden Ground. However, she had specially changed her clothes. That night, Lin Xian pulled her aside and said, "Thank you for saving him many times." Mu Qianshuang did not understand. Lin Xian glanced around with nothing to do. There were too many experts. Suddenly, his gaze fell on Mu Qianshuang. It's her. Seeing Mu Qianshuang, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Indeed, Lin Xian could not recognize her at a glance. But Lin Xian had the system. With a glance, the system knew that she was a mission target who had triggered a mission. Touched. This Xue Qilin, she had been secretly protecting him. When he was going to the demon god Forbidden Ground, she mixed in with the crowd and secretly protected him. To be honest, Lin Xian wanted to know why she wanted to protect him, and why she found him at that time. Lin Xian could not figure it out. He wanted to know. There were many things he wanted to tell her, ask her, and say thank you to her. Then Lin Xian walked over. Mu Qianshuang frowned slightly, because she saw Lin Xian walking towards her from the corner of her eye. She had a hunch that this Lin Xian was looking for her. That's strange. Can he recognize me? Not to mention how dark it was that night, she was still wearing a veil. Now she was wearing a veil and had changed her clothes. She stood there in a very ordinary manner. Why was he still able to lock onto her in such a large crowd? Without the system, Lin Xian really could not recognize her. Even if she stood in front of Lin Xian now, Lin Xian would not recognize her. Hi. Lin Xian walked to her side. For a moment, Lin Xian, a veteran in the field of love, did not know what to say. Mu Qianshuang frowned, and then turned to walk away. Hey, don't go. Lin Xian hurriedly chased after her. Why are you following me? Mu Qianshuang said coldly. I want to say thank you. Also, I have a lot of things to ask you. No need. Saving you was just a coincidence. I just happened to see your fight in the Death Corner fighting ring, and felt that it was a pity that you were assassinated like this. Mu Qianshuang answered faintly. I'm not talking about this time. I'm talking about several times in the past, and when I advanced to the heavenly Tao. Mu Qianshuang frowned slightly. Is he crazy? You've got the wrong person. No, I don't believe that in the demon race, there would be someone who would inexplicably save someone they don't know for no reason. It's just out of love. I don't believe it, especially for a girl like you. There must be a reason. It's fine if you don't want to admit it, but I know anyway. Lin Xian looked at her and said. Chapter 1759. That's awkward. If Xueqilin learns that Lin Xian mistook her for someone else, she'll probably bite Lin Xian to death. But what can Lin Xian do? He had really misunderstood. The main thing is that this misunderstanding is too coincidental. Too coincidental. Think about it, there's no reason to save him? How is that possible? And just some time ago, the White Force helped him advance to the heavenly Tao. Hey, why are you avoiding me? Lin Xian said to her. Mu Qianshuang didn't speak, and then turned around to leave. Can you not leave? Let's go together. Do you find me annoying? Mu Qianshuang didn't speak. Then I won't speak. Let's go together, okay? She then disappeared from where she stood. Lin Xian. No, Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. He doesn't know why. She's clearly protecting me in secret, so why doesn't she talk to me? Is there something she can't tell me? Or does she really want to talk to me? Is she afraid of something? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. That should be the case. At this moment, lightning flashed in the void, and a bolt of lightning fell on the lake in front of them. Then, the lake split in the middle. At the end, the lake water poured into a place similar to a spatial portal. It's open. The demon god Forbidden Ground is finally open. I have a feeling that the demon god Forbidden Ground is being controlled by someone. Every time, it opens at the right time. Say, in addition to the powerhouses from ancient times, are there still living people in the demon god Forbidden Ground? Maybe there are. Maybe they're not in the demon god Forbidden Ground. It's just that every time the demon god Forbidden Ground opens, they will go in with us. Who knows? Why do you care about that? Let's go in. Experts from all directions swarmed in one after another. After Lin Xian saw the beautiful girl in front of him walk in, he quickly followed her in. When they entered the demon god Forbidden Ground, there were 12 tunnels in front of them. Simply put, there were 12 portals. With so many people entering the Forbidden Ground, they would enter 12 different places. The dangers they would encounter might be different, the degree of danger might be different, and the treasures they would obtain might be different as well. However, they might all converge at a certain location. Simply put, it was possible that the 12 tunnels would converge at one point, and the survivors would continue to gather there. Because Lin Xian had the eye of the cave spirit, he was still relatively confident, except for the fact that he was worried about encountering an existence that was far stronger than him. However, with so many people following him, there was no need for Lin Xian to be in the limelight at all. He could just be a damn hoodlum. Because in this place, he didn't want to be in the limelight. Instead, he wanted to see who could go further. The further one went, the more likely they would have to obtain the most powerful treasures. Many people hesitated for a moment before going in. However, everyone knew that this place was very dangerous. In addition, when some people came in, they would enter the same passage. For example, they entered through this passage last time. This time, they would also enter through this passage. Then they would find that the things they encountered were completely different. Zhao Hai was a bit surprised. He was a bit surprised to see that the people in this place weren't the same as the ones in the previous passage. Therefore, everyone didn't understand why it was like this. What was the meaning of giving them 12 different tunnels? Lin Xian looked at Mu Qianshuang. After all, he was a shameless person. Lin Xian smiled and moved closer to her. Beautiful sister, can I call you that? Lin Xian was very willing to call her sister. First, she must be older than him. Second, she must be stronger than him. Third, she saved him. There was nothing wrong with that. Mu Qianshuang frowned. To be honest, she was a little regretful that she saved him. If she knew this would happen, she would have just let him die. Anyway, that person from the Heavenly Demon Mountain was her greatest opponent. She didn't know why her master said that she wasn't the person chosen by the heavenly demon mountain. She felt that she was very powerful. She had fought with her several times, and there were wins and losses. Was it because this Lin Xian was a human? What was different about the human race? It was all about potential. Mu Qianshuang didn't answer. Since you didn't answer, it means that you agreed. Lin Xian said with a smile. Which one are you going? I'll go with you. Mu Qianshuang didn't speak and directly walked into the tunnel in front of her. Lin Xian didn't hesitate and directly followed her. Shua. With a flash of light, they appeared in a new place. What is this? Lin Xian glanced around. How should he put it? In front of them was a thundercloud area. It seemed that they could only go forward. Under the thundercloud, Lin Xian felt that they would be bombarded by terrible thunder. Many people might die, because this was the thunder of heavenly punishment. It was very scary and dangerous. He didn't know how many people would fall under the thunder. They didn't go forward because, to be honest, everything here was unfamiliar. They didn't know how strong it was, how scary it was, and how many unknowns there were. So, unless they were very confident, they still hoped to wait until everyone came together before going forward. Who was at the front? The people behind would have a rough idea. Lin Xian used his eye of spiritual insight to investigate. Oh, under the thundercloud, there was an unimaginable amount of spiritual energy. It was obviously extremely dangerous. There was nothing special about the other places, but Lin Xian's eye of spiritual insight saw that there was a small amount of spiritual energy surging in front of them. There was nothing in other directions, only a small amount in front of them. So Lin Xian felt that there should be some clues. More and more people came. Soon, there were 20 to 30,000 people entering the tunnel. Mu Qianshuang didn't stop and directly walked forward. Many of them also formed cliques as they moved forward. Everyone saw the thunder and knew that it was obvious that they had to go forward, so they didn't have much doubt. Hey hey hey. Lin Xian ran to Mu Qianshuang's side. While walking with her, he said, there might be some situation over there. Why don't we go and take a look? Lin Xian pointed in a direction. Mu Qianshuang frowned. Are you sure? I'm not sure, but there are some clues over there. In Mu Qianshuang's eyes, if this Lin Xian was chosen by the senior of the heavenly demon mountain, then he was definitely not simple. Although his cultivation seemed low, he might have some unknown ability. In this kind of place, any decision could turn the world upside down. Chapter 1760. The fundamental reason why Mu Qianshuang believes in Lin Xian is that this person isn't simple. She didn't think that Lin Xian wouldn't be able to do what she couldn't do. Putting aside his battle prowess, she wasn't sure about his other special abilities. Therefore, she decided to give it a try and follow him. I thought you wouldn't come with me. Lin Xian smiled and looked at Mu Qianshuang. Sure enough, she's still worried about me. If there is an easier and safer way, why not? Mu Qianshuang said. After all, the demon god Forbidden Ground is indeed dangerous, and the further you go, the more dangerous it gets. So if you can maintain a good state, then you can definitely keep going. Even for her, it's still dangerous in such a place, and there's even a risk of death. She doesn't dare to joke about this. It just so happens that I can take advantage of this matter with Lin Xian to gain some understanding of him. If it's true, then I really have to look at him in a new light. I appreciate your idea. Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang walked in that direction, and were seen by some people. However, no one thought of following them. Although they can go there, but they think that it's a waste of time to walk there. It's better to follow the group through the thundercloud zone. If they leave the group, then it's really dangerous. Soon Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang came to a small passage, a valley-like place surrounded by barriers. They can only pass through this valley. But for Mu Qianshuang, why does she feel that this valley is more dangerous? But she can't be sure. It seems to be here. Where are we going? Mu Qianshuang asked faintly. Lin Xian shook his head. I don't know. What the heck? Why did I follow him here all of a sudden? But forget it, it doesn't matter. But the spiritual force of heaven and earth under the thundercloud is ridiculously strong. And there doesn't seem to be much spiritual force of heaven and earth here. So I feel that maybe this is just a shortcut? After saying that, Lin Xian walked over. Sigh. Why isn't this Xue Qilin willing to talk to me? It would be nice to chat more. That. How do I contact you in the future? Can you give me a way to contact them? Or rather, where can I find you in the future? You don't have to follow me secretly. I'll protect myself. But I'm really grateful for your secret protection. Mu Qianshuang. No, she had only casually made a move once. How many times did this person have to say that? Shut up. All right, I'll shut up. Lin Xian then silently lit a cigarette. A large hall appeared in front of them. Mu Qianshuang frowned. She wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a dangerous place. Logically speaking, they had just entered a hall where there might be many treasures. This should be a very dangerous place. Like I said, there must be something here. The master of this demon god forbidden ground set up these checkpoints so that we could see the thundercloud zone as soon as we entered. Even though we knew it was dangerous, we knew that we had to pass through it. Little did we know that there would be something good right at the start. Lin Xian said. After saying that, Lin Xian walked to the door and was about to push it open. Don't go in if you don't want to die. Mu Qianshuang reminded Lin Xian. Obviously, this place was dangerous. It was purposely luring people in and then killing them inside. It's okay, I'll go in and take a look. Lin Xian had the eye of insight. After he entered, he could see clearly where the danger was and where the traps were. So if there was danger, Lin Xian would be able to leave safely. But what if there was no danger? Or could he avoid the danger? Doesn't that mean he could take away the treasures inside? Who wouldn't want a free treasure? This was the demon race's territory in ancient times. Even if this was just the entrance and the treasures inside might not be that high, it shouldn't be too bad. Ka. Then Lin Xian pushed the door open. Mu Qianshuang stood there and watched Lin Xian walk in. Then she shook her head. He was courting death. She couldn't do anything about it. She definitely wouldn't be so cheap to save him. Lin Xian walked in. The hall wasn't that big, and there weren't many things inside. Lin Xian glanced around. Anyway, there were a lot of good things. Moreover, with the eye of insight, Lin Xian didn't find any traps or dangers. In other words, there really wasn't any danger in here. Then wouldn't this hall be emptied? Damn. I'm rich. Lin Xian then happily stuffed all kinds of things inside the hall into his interspatial ring. Mu Qianshuang was dumbfounded when she saw this scene. Was this person really stupid or was he pretending to be crazy? He really didn't care about anything and desperately stuffed all the treasures in the hall into his interspatial ring? Logically speaking, under normal circumstances, even if you were greedy, you could just take one or two things and run out. But this guy, he actually stuffed everything? If you don't die, who will? He clearly knew what kind of place this was. He clearly knew that there were so many dangers, yet he still did this? She had overestimated this person. No matter what, this Lin Xian was just a human brat in his 20s. In her eyes, he was indeed a brat. What would a 20-something brat know? What was so special about his state of mind? That's right. After all, he was a 20-year-old human. If he wanted to die, then Mu Qianshuang wouldn't care. But time slowly passed. Lin Xian was frantically moving things inside, but nothing unexpected happened. Mu Qianshuang stood outside. She didn't leave. She wanted to take a look, but she felt that something was wrong. What's going on? Nothing unexpected happened. He was almost done moving everything. After a while, Lin Xian lit a cigarette and happily walked out of the hall. Hey. Lin Xian smiled and waved at Mu Qianshuang. Mu Qianshuang. Know this? Did he just walk out of there safely? It can't be. Hello. Lin Xian waved his hand in front of her. Mu Qianshuang came back to her senses. Are you okay? Lin Xian shook his head. I'm fine. What's wrong? Nothing. She shook her head. Strange. It was really strange. How could he be fine? Could it be that there were no dangers or traps inside? No. She didn't believe it. Are the things you put in the interspatial ring still there? She asked. Walala. Then a small mountain of various things was placed in front of them. Mu Qianshuang didn't believe it. She reached out and casually took a crystal to feel it. It was real. Not only was there no danger, but the things inside were also real? She started to doubt her life. Was this Lin Xian lucky, or on the 5th floor? Chapter 1761. Logically speaking, Mu Qianshuang was really helpless. Was she thinking too much, or was it too one-sided? Was this Lin Xian thinking too deeply, or was it too simple? Really, there was such a thing. Mu Qianshuang nodded and continued to walk forward. That's weird. Lin Xian put the things into his spatial ring and chased after her. In front, they passed through the passage and then looked to the left. They had already passed through the thundercloud area. Then they followed the path and walked to the other end of the thundercloud area. Mu Qianshuang was slightly stunned. Others had risked their lives to pass through the thundercloud area. Now it seemed that no one had passed through. They did not do anything and even encountered a hall full of treasures. There was no danger and they walked all the way here. It was a bit ridiculous. Lin Xian, how is it? Am I right? We did not encounter any danger along the way. There is no need to pass through the thundercloud area, and we are already here. At this time, a figure walked out from the thundercloud behind them. He looked extremely miserable. This old man is finally out. The old man's hair stood on end, and his whole body was charred black. He should not be seriously injured, but he was definitely not in a good condition. He then looked at Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang. The two of them looked completely fine, but they actually came out before him. Not simple. Then he sat down cross-legged and recuperated. One by one they came out. Each of them looked very miserable. The first thing they did was the same. They sat down cross-legged and meditated. After all, they did not know how much danger there would be. They had to at least ensure that their condition was normal. Let's wait for them. Lin Xian saw that Mu Qianshuang was about to walk forward and quickly said, "No need. There is no need. I know you are very powerful, but if we wait for them to walk forward together, at least they can wade through the muddy water first. There is no need to put the danger on yourself. Don't you think so? I know you are very powerful and very proud, but we can't be so stubborn." Mu Qianshuang. She was unable to refute. Sit. Do you want to eat? Let's have some hot pot. Lin Xian then released his law of creation. The hot pot was cooked there, and all kinds of ingredients, bowls, chopsticks, and condiments were prepared. Lin Xian then put his favorite beef in to cook. Mu Qianshuang. She ignored him. Who? Lin Xian blew on the beef, dipped it in the sauce, and swallowed it in one gulp. Satisfaction. He was King satisfied. Have some. I know you're from the demon clan, and might not be used to it, but maybe you can get used to it. Lin Xian looked at Mu Qianshuang. No need. She closed her eyes and began to meditate. After more than 10 seconds, she felt hot air on her face. She opened her eyes and saw Lin Xian holding a piece of beef with chopsticks and placing it in front of her mouth. Open your mouth. Mu Qianshuang frowned. What are you doing? She had to open her mouth to speak. After opening her mouth, Lin Xian stuffed the beef directly into her mouth from under the veil. I'm feeding you something to eat. Seriously. Mu Qianshuang frowned. However, she had to admit that she had never tasted anything like this before. It was a very strange taste. But in the next second, she suddenly realized something. Wait a minute. These chopsticks were his own. If he used his own chopsticks to feed her, wouldn't that be bang? Mu Qianshuang stood up, her face cold. What's the matter? Lin Xian looked at her innocently. Mu Qianshuang. This was King ridiculous. Her face was originally filled with anger, but she suddenly couldn't vent her anger. He didn't seem to be doing it on purpose, right? He actually wanted to give her something good to eat. But he didn't pay attention to this? He didn't seem to have any evil intentions. It's nothing, Mu Qianshuang coldly said. Then she sat down but turned her back to Lin Xian. Hey, let's eat together. Lin Xian moved the hot pot in front of her and handed her a pair of chopsticks and a small bowl. Mu Qianshuang opened her beautiful eyes. She silently took the bowl and chopsticks. That's more like it. Lin Xian smiled. The people behind felt that this was too ridiculous. They were here to recuperate, but these two people were here to eat? Not being human? F***ck. How is it? Delicious, right? What is this called? Mu Qianshuang asked. She actually couldn't remember when was the last time she ate. Of course, she was referring to eating formally. Usually, she would just drink tea because at her realm, she didn't need to eat anymore. But to be honest, she didn't remember eating this kind of food. This is called hot pot. It's a very popular food in our human race. A group of friends would sit around the table. If they want to eat something, they would put the ingredients in and cook it. After a while, they would add some seasoning. It's very comfortable. Especially when the weather is cold, it's very warm. Lin Xian said. Mu Qianshuang nodded. Time slowly passed. Those people slowly recovered and stood up one by one. Everyone, we don't know how many dangers lie ahead. In my opinion, no matter what, let's not have any conflicts or intrigue against each other. Let's go back first and see how far we can go. We've failed so many times before. This time, I think we should be able to go further together. That's right. Zhang Wuji said with a smile. An old man said. And honored Tian Yu's words are reasonable. This old man agrees. For example, if you encounter a secondary hall or a main hall where treasures are stored, and there are some treasures inside, first come, first serve. This old man doesn't want to see people kill people because of jealousy. This old man will say this, if I see someone like that, then the first person this old man will kill will be him. This time, our goal is to go further. Understood. I agree. Many people nodded. And it's good that you agree. Lin Xian sneered. Well said. I don't know what they will do when the time comes, and the treasures they want are taken by others. Mu Qianshuang elegantly wiped the corner of her mouth and stood up. This meal was very comfortable for her. Let's go, she said and then walked forward. The rest of the crowd also followed him one after another. Not long after, all of them arrived at a plain, but they were blocked by a large sea of purple flowers in front of them. The experience of a strong cultivator was that once there was something that attracted people's attention, there must be a mystery behind it. It must not be simple. Just like now, a purple sea of flowers appeared on a plain. This sea of flowers is definitely not simple. It's definitely dangerous. They must be very careful. Chapter 1762. The huge sea of purple flowers in front of them blocked everyone's path. Lin Xian took a look behind him. At the beginning, the number of people who came in was about 30,000. Now Lin Xian took a look behind him. It seems that 1/3 of them are missing. In other words, Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang didn't experience the thundercloud zone. And there might be 10,000 people who died? F***ck. At first glance it didn't seem like much, but now that he thought about it, he felt that it was a bit exaggerated. They just came in and 1/3 of the people are missing? F***ck. Isn't the death rate a bit too high? And here, when everyone saw the sea of flowers, their subconscious thought was to fly over it, but they found out that it was forbidden to fly. Forbidden to fly means that they can't fly. Moreover, they can't use their space attribute. That means that they can only walk on this sea of flowers. Therefore, they were more convinced that this huge sea of flowers is very dangerous. Lin Xian's spiritual eye can only see that this sea of flowers isn't simple, but he's not sure about the specifics. However, Lin Xian recognized this flower. Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower. Mu Qianshuang frowned. Let's go back a bit. This Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower is the real deal. Whoever stays at the back will have a higher chance of surviving. Lin Xian said. Lin Xian, recognizing the Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower, made Mu Qianshuang a bit surprised. He's only in his 20s, and he actually knows this Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower? Mu Qianshuang dares to say that among the 20,000 people present, there are many who have lived for thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years old. But the number of people who recognize the Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower should not be more than 10. Because this thing was really something that had been extinct for many years, and it was very rare to find it in the records. Mu Qianshuang didn't refute Lin Xian's words. Indeed, whoever stays at the back will have a lower death rate. Why? It seemed that this sea of purple extinction spirit flowers was nothing, but when you walked past them, each flower would instantly become bigger, and then trigger a powerful vine. Once you were touched by the vine, you would directly lose the qualification to use spiritual power. It was similar to a forbidden spell. At the same time, you would be paralyzed and slowly unable to break free. You would die here forever and become the nourishment of the purple extinction spirit flowers. Therefore, there was a high chance that those who walked in the front would be affected, while those who walked at the back would be in less danger, because the people in front had already activated the vines. These vines had already bound some people, so the danger would be greatly reduced. As expected, not many people recognized him. Even if someone recognized this, they wouldn't say it out loud. The reason was simple. If they said it out loud, who would want to get involved in this mess? Everyone, release your spiritual energy. It's time to go. This old man doesn't believe it. It's just a sea of flowers. What kind of danger can there be? It's nothing more than an illusion or poison. Go. I think we should first release our power, and see if we can destroy this sea of flowers. If we can, wouldn't it be exceptionally easy? No. In this old man's opinion, this is definitely not a good idea. Think about it. Under normal circumstances, when encountering such a special situation, a normal person's reaction would be to destroy this place. But think about it, if that's what a normal person would think and this place is so dangerous, then is there a situation where the God-Demon Forbidden Grounds test is for us to use our power to destroy this place? Maybe it'll be more dangerous if we destroy it. SSS, you're right. It's definitely not that simple. Then what are we hesitating for? Don't worry, just release your spiritual energy and rush forward. Heavenly Tao will lead the way. That's it. Let's go. Whoosh. Then the densely packed group of people released a powerful force and rushed forward. Yes, they were all Heavenly Tao. This was not something as terrifying as the thunder of heavenly punishment. Why would they be afraid of this? Then 70% of the people who rushed in were touched by the vines that suddenly grew out. When they were just grazed by the vines, they couldn't use their spiritual energy. Then they couldn't react in time, and were all tied up by the vines. If no one helped them when they were tied up, it might mean that they would never be able to get out. Those with lower realms naturally stayed at the back. In fact, according to the previous situation, these people with lower realms should be cannon fodder. They would be directly thrown by these experts. However, because of what they said earlier, no one did it. Damn. This thing is really scary. Lin Xian stood at the back and was secretly speechless. Although it looked like everyone was tied up, there was nothing wrong with them. Therefore, most people were not afraid when they saw this scene. They directly rushed forward. However, Lin Xian knew that those who were tied up, even if they were in the Heavenly Tao realm, they would probably not be able to leave this place. This was the Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower. Lin Xian even thought that if he had the ability, he could move these Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flowers away and make a territory of his own. It would be extremely good if it could be used as a protective talisman for his territory. Unfortunately, Lin Xian did not have the ability. Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang stood there motionless, allowing those people to rush over. As for those people, they mistakenly thought that the danger was not great, and that they were only tied up. It would not take long for them to break free, so there was no danger. Only when they were tied up did they realize that they could not use their spiritual energy when tied up. However, what they said is indeed true. We cannot attack the Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower. Otherwise, not only will the Amethyst Extinction Spirit Flower be fine, it will even absorb a powerful force and become stronger. Lin Xian pondered for a moment. Mu Qianshuang did not say a word because what Lin Xian said was indeed true. More and more people rushed over, but Lin Xian and company had yet to go over. When most of the people rushed over, Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang jumped over. It was very easy because they were stepping on the bodies of those who were tied up. Out of the 20,000 people who passed, about 15,000 people passed. The elimination rate reached 25%. To be honest, it was still very exaggerated. In just a short period of time, about 15,000 people had died at these two tiny checkpoints. It might seem like nothing, But what if the 15,000 people were mostly heavenly venerables or great void realm experts? There might even be quite a number of heavenly Tao realm experts. Wasn't that terrifying? Everyone turned their heads to look at the purple flower forest that was no longer beautiful. It was filled with thorns and vines. Many people were tied up there. In the beginning, they could still struggle a little, but now, their arms were hanging limply. It was a terrifying batch. Chapter 1763. Everyone looked at the scene in shock. I thought this was just a normal situation of trapping someone. I didn't expect that once someone is trapped, they will never be able to get out. Gulp. Tian Dao is trapped and can't get out. This is too scary. Is this the God Beast's forbidden ground? No, I've been here before. It wasn't this cruel. I can only say that we might have entered a more dangerous place. Yes, these 12 entrances should have different dangers and difficulties. We might have entered the most dangerous place. But danger and opportunity coexist. Does this mean that we are the ones who are most likely to encounter the most powerful treasure? Not necessarily. What if this is the Death Gate? Impossible. If it's the Death Gate, there's no need to give us so many trials and kill us bit by bit. If it's the Death Gate, there's no need to do so. So this should be the Life Gate too. Then everyone, let's move forward. Everyone walked forward. Hey, if something happens to me, will you save me? Lin Xian lit a cigarette and asked Mu Qianshuang. No. Tisk women. They don't mean what they say. You've saved me so many times. Now you say you won't. I don't believe you. Lin Xian shook his head. Mu Qianshuang frowned. Saved him so many times? I think you've misunderstood something. Mu Qianshuang said as she walked forward. Huh? What do you mean? What did he misunderstand? I've only saved you once. Don't. Did I do something wrong? If you tell me, I won't say it. Lin Xian mumbled. Indeed, you've only saved me once. I think you've got the wrong person. Mu Qianshuang said calmly. Lin Xian looked at her. Really? That was the first time we met. That's what I'm talking about. You've got the wrong person. Lin Xian frowned. Did he really get the wrong person? Then why did you save me? Like I said, it's just that I can't stand the way those people do things. I'm a human, and the demons kill humans. Why did you save me for no reason? This doesn't make sense. Mu Qianshuang was too lazy to pay attention to Lin Xian, and continued walking forward. Lin Xian scratched his head. It seemed like he had really mistaken her for someone else. So why? Lin Xian couldn't understand at all. There must be a reason. Hey, wait for me. Lin Xian chased after him. Then release your power and let's see. Lin Xian. Mu Qianshuang ignored Lin Xian. If you don't release it, then I'll recognize you. You're lying to me. Mu Qianshuang's tender body erupted with an aura. It's the aura of a monster, but it doesn't seem to be Xue Qilin's aura. Lin Xian couldn't remember clearly. That night, it was mainly because she saved him. Coupled with the fact that she released this kind of white light, and that she was a beautiful girl, Lin Xian was absolutely certain that she was Xue Qilin. But now she refuted. Lin Xian wasn't sure if she said it deliberately, or if it was really a mistake. Lin Xian wasn't sure about this power either. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? Lin Xian asked. Shut up. Mu Qianshuang was annoyed to death by Lin Xian. I won't. Why did you save me? Mu Qianshuang. She walked forward, ignoring Lin Xian. Wait for me. Lin Xian chased after her. Then what race are you from? Lin Xian asked. Can't you shut up? Look, you annoyed me yet you didn't kill me. You even saved me. How can you make me believe that you don't know me? Did you save me because you took a fancy to me? Although the odds are quite high, but... Shut up. Lin Xian immediately shut up. You don't look that old, so why is your cultivation base so high? I know someone about the same age as you. Her cultivation base isn't as high as yours, but her bloodline is very strong. No matter what, she should be about the same age as you. Why is that? Lin Xian couldn't figure it out. Logically speaking, as a monster, Linglong Xue should be very powerful at her age. But this Mu Qianshuang, she should be about the same age as Linglong Xue. As a human, This gap in cultivation base can be explained. But as a monster, it's a bit outrageous. After all, Linglong Shue's bloodline is top-notch. Can you shut up? Mu Qianshuang was really annoyed. She was not a talkative person to begin with, and this Lin Xian was like a housefly that kept buzzing in her ear. She was really annoyed. She had already explained it several times. Okay, I'll shut up. Lin Xian took a puff of his cigarette. In front of them, the road in front of them came to an end, but a portal appeared. Obviously, it was to let them enter this portal. As for what was inside this portal, it was unknown. They didn't hesitate. No matter what was inside, they had to go in because this was the only way. Mu Qianshuang also didn't hesitate and directly walked in. Lin Xian also followed behind her. Shua. With a flash of light, Lin Xian appeared in a white space. Ha! Lin Xian frowned. It was very strange because the other people who entered here were all gone. In the whole space, there was only Lin Xian. Welcome to the death trial. An old man's voice came from the void. Death trial? It's here? Lin Xian frowned. Later, you will be placed in a specific area. In this area, all of you will have 12 hours. What you have to do is to kill. Kill as many as you can. After 12 hours, only 3,000 people will be left alive. Lin Xian frowned. Death trial? What if I kill less people? In the void, the voice came. The more people you kill, the more likely you will be to walk out of here alive. Killing people is your bargaining chip. Shua. Then a watch appeared on Lin Xian's wrist. A screen was displayed on the watch. In the fixed map, all of your positions will be located at all times. The locator cannot be removed or damaged. If you have such thoughts, you will die without a doubt. After entering, please try your best to survive and kill as many people as possible. I wish you the best of luck, and may you be able to go further and survive. Shua. In the next instant, Lin Xian disappeared from where he stood. When Lin Xian appeared again, he was already on a very real snowy ground. So the remaining 15,000 people will be placed here to fight. In the end, only 3,000 people will be able to walk out alive. Also, I have been located. In other words, everyone knows my position. It's impossible to hide. Chapter 1764. Lin Xian knitted his brows tightly. It was very dangerous, so dangerous that it was a little exaggerated. 15,000 people. Not all of them were experts, but most of them were. And Lin Xian's cultivation realm wasn't high. He wasn't too afraid of a one-on-one as long as he didn't encounter someone with an extremely high cultivation realm. However, Lin Xian knew that although there weren't any Heavenly Dao realm experts with 80 or 90 stars, there were still Heavenly Dao realm experts with 7 stars. If Lin Xian was unlucky and was targeted by a Heavenly Dao realm expert with 7 stars, he would be in trouble. And now, Lin Xian raised his hand to look at the watch on his wrist. F***K. This snowy land was a place with no hiding spots. It wasn't like a forest where there were countless trees to hide in. But here, it was completely barren. At a glance, who knew how far one could see? Thankfully, the snowy land's map wasn't very flat. There were undulating snowy hills and even snowy mountains everywhere. There were also huge snowy mountains that were so tall that one couldn't see the top of them at a glance. If there was a need to hide in a situation where one could know everyone's location, there were actually some possibilities. First, even if one knew the location, they wouldn't know who it was. They would only sneak over to take a look and see if they could beat them. However, with a wide field of vision, there was no place to hide. They would be able to spot you at a glance. And for many other people, it wasn't too much of a problem since they were all the same. However, it was different for Lin Xian. The reason was very simple. Lin Xian looked very young at a glance. Furthermore, they could directly see through Lin Xian's cultivation realm. He was at the 1-star Heavenly Dao realm. In a place where there were Heavenly Dao realm experts everywhere, they would definitely take action the moment they saw a 1-star Heavenly Dao realm expert. Furthermore, Lin Xian glanced at the goatskin scroll in his hand. On it were the detailed rules of the death trial. It didn't mention what benefits one would obtain by killing more people. In short, it meant that the more people one killed, the better the benefits one would obtain in the future. There was another crucial piece of information. That was, other than the number of kills, there was also a quality requirement. To put it simply, killing a Great Void Realm expert was completely different from killing a Heavenly Dao Realm expert. Lin Xian could understand this, but it wasn't so good for Lin Xian. Why? This was because Lin Xian looked young. Although he had a Heavenly Dao 1-star cultivation level, with such a rule, a Heavenly Dao 1-star would become the target of Heavenly Dao Realm experts. This was because they would feel that killing 10 Great Void Realm experts was inferior to killing a Heavenly Dao 1-star. Furthermore, killing a Heavenly Dao 1-star might be difficult for a Heavenly Dao 2-star or 3-star Heavenly Dao Realm expert, but there were even Heavenly Dao 7-stars here. Killing a Heavenly Dao 1-star Heavenly Dao 4-star, or 5-star Heavenly Dao 6-star 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 Heavenly Dao 6-star. Therefore, if one had the intention to kill a Heavenly Dao Realm 1-star, it meant that one was basically at the 3rd-star Heavenly Dao Realm or higher. Therefore, on the whole, Lin Xian was safe as a 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm expert. But on a smaller scale, he was the most dangerous. Lin Xian scanned his surroundings. His field of vision wasn't considered wide from his position, but, in such a tiny spot, in such a tiny region, Lin Xian saw 5 people. This also meant that the snowy region wasn't huge. It was definitely not huge. Of course, those people saw Lin Xian as well, including the others. They had just finished reading the rules. Since they knew the rules, then now, it was time for them to make their choice. Some people did not even have the extravagant hope of killing people in the death trial. Even if they had the strength and encountered someone, they did not have the extravagant hope of killing someone. Their goal was to survive. That was all. Although they knew that the future would be very dangerous, at the very least, they had to survive, right? To some people, this was purely the time to hunt. They had absolute strength, and at the same time, they did not need to worry about being killed by others. This was because with so many choices, no one would think of killing them even if they were very strong. The gains did not make up for the losses. As for them, what they pursued was a higher reward, allowing them to go further. This was because they knew that the place they had come to was the most dangerous one, but at the same time, it was also the place with the most treasures and the strongest. The further they went, the higher the chances of them obtaining top treasures. Although their realms were already close to the pinnacle of this continent. However, this Fey God Forbidden Ground was a place where numerous Fey gods had perished in ancient times. Back then, there were Heavenly Dao Realm 10-star Heavenly Dao Realm existences everywhere. Even at their realm, they could only dream of obtaining treasures or cultivation techniques from such existences. Perhaps they might have been stuck for centuries, or even millennia, before breaking through. And the other group of people, which was Lin Xian's group, had the capital to kill, but at the same time, they were in danger of being killed. As though they had a tacit understanding, the few of them cast their gazes on Lin Xian at the same time. Punk, prepare to die. An elder bellowed angrily before an unimaginable might blasted out from his body. Apart from this area, fights had already broken out in other places. Heavenly Dao Realm 2-star. Lin Xian's eyes focused. Since you have a death wish, don't blame me. Shua. Following that, Lin Xian's 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm cultivation level blasted out. However, although Lin Xian's cultivation level was only at the 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm, Lin Xian's overall stats were not simple. He was definitely not an ordinary 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm. And what Lin Xian wanted to do was finish off this Heavenly Dao Realm 2-star Heavenly Dao Realm in a short period of time. The other people's cultivation levels were all at the 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm. When they sensed the strength released by the duo, they stood there hesitating and did not take action. In the beginning, they believed that Lin Xian was a great Void Realm expert that could be crushed to death, but they never expected him to be at the Heavenly Dao Realm. However, they did not leave. Firstly, they did not know where to go. Secondly, They were fantasizing that if the two of them were to fight to the death, wouldn't they be able to take advantage of the situation? Even if they could not heavily injure the other party, they could even find an opportunity to launch a sneak attack. Then, the few of them would definitely have a tacit understanding to not attack each other. Spatial Seal. Lin Xian immediately released Spatial Seal. This was because he had the means to instantly kill a Heavenly Dao Realm 2-star. Although in the death arena, Lin Xian seemed to be able to hold his own against 2-star opponents, that was because Lin Xian had held back. But now in this place, Lin Xian did not need to hold back. All he needed was for this person to not escape. Chapter 1765. The Elder's powerful strength had been casually blocked by Lin Xian. Lin Xian had a series of augmentations from the system. At the same time, Lin Xian also had the Door of God's Awakening, which doubled all his stats. What? Seeing Lin Xian easily block his strength, the Elder frowned suddenly. Although the possibility of a Heavenly Dao Realm 2-star being able to kill a Heavenly Dao Realm 1-star wasn't very high, it was definitely a one-sided battle. But why was a Heavenly Dao Realm 1-star able to easily withstand his 2-star strength? The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled slightly. Then welcome death. Realm Reduction Domain. Lin Xian's strength erupted, forcefully lowering the Elder's realm to the 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm. Realm Enhancement Domain. Shua. At the same time, Lin Xian's cultivation level rose to the 2-star Heavenly Dao Realm. Strength doubled. Lin Xian was already able to crush the Elder, but now with Lin Xian's strength doubled from the foundation of a 2-star Heavenly Dao Realm, this Elder. Absolute Zero. Shua. Lin Xian did not use any other strength. Instead, he used an ice elemental martial technique, Absolute Zero. Under the suppression of absolute strength, although the Elder released a powerful strength, he was still frozen to the spot. It was difficult for Heavenly Dao Realm existences to die, because if they wanted to escape, there was basically no way to stop them. Furthermore, their physique was extremely strong, making them very difficult to kill. Therefore, it was nearly impossible to kill an opponent with a difference of 1 or 2 stars. However, Lin Xian's strength had definitely reached such a level under the present circumstances. At the same time, Lin Xian definitely had the ability to prevent his opponent from escaping. With the Ice Elemental and Spatial Elemental, how were they to escape? Phoenix's 9 Firmaments. Phoenix's 9 Firmaments was likely Lin Xian's strongest move. There was no other. This was the martial skill that Huangshi had given him. This was a martial skill of the Phoenix bloodline. Even if others obtained it, they would not be able to cultivate it. The reason why Lin Xian could cultivate it was because he had sex with Huangshi. Phoenix 9 Heavens, you can understand it as this martial skill has a total of 9 moves. Each move is stronger than the previous one. The strongest move is the 9th move, Phoenix 9 Heavens. How exaggerated was it exactly? Lin Xian's cultivation level was at the 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm. Furthermore, Lin Xian's spiritual energy was dozens of times higher than warriors at his realm. However, Lin Xian's release of the Phoenix 9 Firmaments drained a third of his spiritual energy. In other words, for this 9 heavens of the Phoenix, Lin Xian could only release this martial skill 3 times without releasing anything else. One could imagine just how powerful it was. It was so terrifying that even someone at the Heavenly Dao Realm would not be able to release the Phoenix's 9 Firmaments. If not for Lin Xian's immense spiritual energies, he would not have been able to release the 9th move at the 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm. This was ridiculous. Screech. A phoenix cry sounded as 9 phoenix phantoms soared into the sky. At the same time, they brought with them 9 terrifying pillars of fire that shot into the sky. Boom! The 9 phoenixes directly devoured the Elder who had yet to escape the ice seal. The few of them drew a cold gasp. This was a power that could be released at the 1-star Heavenly Dao Realm? Phoenix. That's a phoenix. He's from the phoenix lineage? Thankfully, we did not take action. To think that he's from the phoenix lineage. How terrifying. Is this the absolute suppression of bloodlines? Gulp. They could not help but gulp a mouthful of saliva. It was indeed terrifying. But the horror was yet to come. When the snowstorm dissipated, The elder had already been reduced to a corpse. At the same time, the number Heavenly Tao, 1 appeared on Lin Xian's watch. The pupils of the few people constricted immediately. This? He's dead? He's dead just like that? How is that possible? How can a 1-star Heavenly Tao Realm warrior be instantly killed by a 1-star Heavenly Tao Realm warrior? This is impossible. Gulp, let's leave quickly. They originally wanted to reap the benefits from the tussle between the snipe and the clam, but from the looks of it, that was not possible. They had to run. This was an expert. Run. Lin Xian's eyes focused. Since we've encountered each other, it must be fate. Then don't run. Lin Xian then released a spatial seal. In a short period of time, Lin Xian had easily killed 5 Heavenly Tao Realm warriors. He was likely the most efficient person. Although Lin Xian's strength was not strong, his abilities were powerful. He did not play any fancy tricks and directly killed. Then, Lin Xian looked ahead and pondered slightly. Under the premise of a massacre, I have to ensure my own safety. How should I do that? Lin Xian pondered slightly. Right. Array formation. Suddenly Lin Xian thought of something. Formations were actually a very powerful thing, but there weren't many people in the continent who knew about top-level formations. The main reason was that many array formations had been lost to time. Just like many pill formulas, pills were also very impressive. Unfortunately, many powerful pills had been lost to time. However, Lin Xian knew them. The Heaven-Earth Holy Art not only gave him powerful medical skills, but it also gave him a deep understanding of heaven and earth spiritual items. At the same time, array formations were one of them. It was just that Lin Xian rarely had the chance to use array formations. Most importantly, powerful array formations required time to condense and large amounts of spiritual energy. True strength was not something Lin Xian could use before he reached the Heavenly Tao realm. And now Lin Xian could give it a try. And the place should be here. Then, Lin Xian did not waste a moment as he set up an array formation. Even if the array formation was not completed, it would not be a problem as long as it was not above the 4-star Heavenly Tao realm. Lin Xian could fight a 4-star Heavenly Tao realm opponent, but if the opponent realized that they could not finish off Lin Xian in a short period of time, they would likely not continue fighting. This was because it was not a life-and-death battle. There was no need for them to waste their energy on a difficult opponent. And from Lin Xian's point of view, existences at the Heavenly Tao realm at 4 stars and above would, according to their positioning, head to places with more people. They would then casually slay them. This way, their efficiency would be high. And since there weren't many people in the vicinity, the chances of them coming over were low. Indeed, an hour later, Lin Xian had completed several array formations. During this period, he constantly replenished his spiritual energy. In this hour, 10 people came. The strongest was a 3-star Heavenly Tao realm expert. He fought with Lin Xian for a while before leaving. This was because he realized that he could not defeat Lin Xian in a short period of time. As for Lin Xian, he had the ability to kill him, but Lin Xian did not do so. This was because it would expend large amounts of spiritual energy. Lin Xian did not set up these array formations just to protect his life. If Lin Xian wanted to kill more people, it was absolutely impossible with his cultivation level. However, the array formations had a chance of doing so. Once it was completed, even if a Heavenly Tao realm 7-star came, even if they could not kill them, they would definitely be trapped for a short period of time. If it was completed, the rest would depend on how Lin Xian lured those people over. Chapter 1766. Lin Xian's array formation was basically set up. It was rather dangerous because Lin Xian was greatly drained. Even though he was at the 1-star Heavenly Tao realm, the array formation he set up probably drained the spiritual energy of dozens of 1-star Heavenly Tao realm cultivators. But it didn't matter. He had plenty of pills. Furthermore, Lin Xian had obtained quite a number of relatively useful pills, and even heaven and earth spiritual items in the hall. Lin Xian relied on these to quickly recover his spiritual energy. As for things like spiritual energy recovery medicine, they were nearly useless to those at the Heavenly Tao realm. At that realm, to recover one's spiritual energy faster, One needed pills of a rather high grade. Unfortunately, there were very few pill formulas available. However, Lin Xian had countless formulas. Then all I need to do is wait for someone to arrive. Lin Xian stood there to recover his spiritual energy. Soon, a person rushed over and saw Lin Xian standing there. Such a young punk? He sneered when he saw Lin Xian. Then, without any hesitation, he charged over with immense strength. Heavenly Dao Realm 2 stars. Lin Xian's ability to kill a Heavenly Dao Realm 2 star was very simple, but if he could use an even simpler method, why would he need to use his own strength? Punk die. The figure charged over and threw a punch at Lin Xian. From his point of view, he had hit Lin Xian, but Lin Xian's figure was reduced to nothingness. Oh, he knitted his brows tightly. Array formation. His pupils constricted. This punk had actually set up an array formation? As for what kind of array formation it was, he was unsure. What kind of useful array formation can you set up? He sneered. Is that so? Sorry, your luck isn't very good. The array formation you are in is called the Yin-Yang Twin Dragon Array. I wonder if you have heard of it. With that said, Lin Xian lit a cigarette in delight. What? Yin-Yang Twin Dragon Array? His pupils shrank. He had heard of this array before. It was a powerful array created by a branch of the dragons, but how did he know how to use it? Grown. Within the array formation, the Yin and Yang dragons appeared. The terrifying thing about this formation was that there were a total of 2 dragons. If one person was inside, there would be 2 dragons. If 2 people were inside, there would be 4 dragons, and so on. The people trapped in this formation had to kill the Yin-Yang dragons at the same time to break the formation. This was the only way to break the formation. For stronger existences, it was easy to break the formation. After all, their strength was enough to instantly kill 2 of them. However, it was absolutely impossible for those with similar cultivation levels to do so. For example, the 2 Yin-Yang dragon phantoms were condensed from an array formation, and their strength had reached 2 stars of the Heavenly Dao realm. How could he break it? He could only be exhausted to death. Furthermore, they couldn't be killed at the same time. Even if you killed one, it would appear again in an instant. Moreover, there was more than one formation here. Lin Xian was waiting for more people to arrive. Heaven and Earth Illusion Formation open. Shua. An array formation that enveloped the surroundings was activated. This array formation did not have any offensive capabilities, but it prevented people outside from seeing the situation inside. There was no way they could sense it. For example, the experts inside the Yin-Yang Dragon Array were engaged in a slaughter, but to the people outside, they could neither see nor sense it. How can I lure more people over? Lin Xian pondered slightly. Got it. Following that, Lin Xian injected spiritual energy into his voice and took a deep breath. You're all idiots. Your mothers were all killed by me. F***CKU. You're all a bunch of trash. Trash. You're all idiots. What's the point of you living? Why don't all of you die? Why don't all of you accompany your beloved mothers? Lin Xian's cursing voice traveled far and wide. After all, Lin Xian's Heavenly Dao Realm powers were injected into his voice. It was unimaginable how far it could travel. Lin Xian didn't believe that these people would be able to hold themselves back once his voice was heard. As expected, not to mention those experts who were still looking for prey. Even those who were in the middle of fighting had stopped. F***K. This old man has never seen such a savage person. He's courting death. What's the meaning of this? Could it be that he wants to challenge so many of us by himself? To provoke us in such a way, he's courting death. This old man wants to see who dares to be so arrogant here. Shua, from all directions, experts rushed towards Lin Xian's location. Mu Qianshuang frowned. Wasn't this voice Lin Xian's? What was he doing? Wasn't he courting death? Shua, with a swing of her sword, a Heavenly Dao expert was killed. Mu Qianshuang looked towards the direction of the voice and sped off. Soon, there were no less than 300 people gathered around Lin Xian. Those who dared to come over must have some strength. The others either did not hear it, did not dare to come over, or took the opportunity to struggle at death's door or recuperate from their injuries. I really don't know what this kid is thinking. There's a path to heaven, but he doesn't want to take it. There's no door to hell. Don't talk nonsense. Let's just kill this troublesome brat. Don't fight with this old man. Let this old man kill him with his own hands. Shua then, everyone rushed towards Lin Xian. Patter. Lin Xian lit a cigarette and then about 50 people rushed over and entered the various formations in an instant. There were arrays all around Lin Xian. Even the weakest array could trap them for a short period of time. What? There are so many arrays. Some people did not come over directly because Lin Xian had done something no ordinary person would do. Therefore they decided to wait and see. Then they saw those people directly enter the various spirit arrays, and the power of the various spirit arrays was released. This is the Heaven and Earth Annihilation Array? Nanyang Ninein Array. Who is this kid? How does he know so many top-notch array formations? These array formations come from different sections. How does he know all of them? There are even several powerful array formations that I don't know the names of. Something is probably going to happen to these people. Even if nothing happens, they probably won't be able to escape from the array formation anytime soon. It's no wonder this kid dares to be so arrogant. He wants to use the array formation's powers to kill more people in a short period of time, so as to obtain a higher reward. Heh, it looks like he's still too young. These array formations might be powerful, but what about those at the heavenly Tao realm or above? Even if he really uses this array formation to kill quite a number of people, what happens after that? Can he survive? Could it be that he was going to continue hiding in here? Any heavenly Tao realm 6-star would be enough to destroy everything, right? Chapter 1767. Everyone was displeased with Lin Xian, but they were also afraid. Those who did not have high cultivation realms were still afraid when they saw those people enter the array and disappear before their eyes. After all, they did not think that anyone was a fool who dared to court death. That meant that he had some confidence. Those who were only around 1 to 3 stars of the heavenly Tao realm would never be able to enter this unknown array. They were waiting to see if there were any other powerful experts who entered to test the waters. Mu Qianshuang also came over and saw the situation, but she did not see anyone enter. This Lin Xian was really awesome. He didn't play by the rules at all. She couldn't understand why he dared to do this. Yes, there were a lot of top-grade array formations here, but with the array formations he released, how many people could he block? He was really courting death. There's an illusion array around here. Is there anyone who can break this array? Let's see what's going on inside. An expert said. Why go through so much trouble? Honorable Sir Tianqi, why don't you take action and finish off that eyesore? You're a heavenly Tao realm 6-star expert. Honorable Sir Tianqi stroked his beard and said lightly, this old man can't be bothered to take action. Actually, it was not that he could not be bothered to take action, but he was also observing. This Lin Xian had cursed their mother. Who could tolerate it? No one could tolerate it. But even though his cultivation realm was high, he knew that this kid must know that there were warriors with such high cultivation realms. So why did he still dare to do it? This was the case for experts. The higher their realm, the more cowardly they were. This was because they felt that life was not easy. They had climbed out from countless battles and countless life and death situations. They enjoyed their current realm and yearned to reach a higher realm. But when they did things that were not necessary, they would still hesitate. Then this old man will break this array formation and see what this kid is up to. After a long time, the array formation was finally broken. What? When they saw the scene inside, their eyes widened. Almost all of them were dead. They died from various array formations. There was even a heavenly Tao realm 4-star expert who died inside. Their pupils suddenly shrank. Mu Qianshuang frowned. This person, his attainments in array formations had completely exceeded her imagination. More than 50, and with so many heavenly Tao, it shouldn't be a problem to get into the top 10. Lin Xian muttered to himself. No, he didn't want to be in the top 10. He wanted first place. I'm afraid this brat has an ancient formation map. It must be. Everyone, let's attack together. As for who will obtain this formation map in the end, it will all depend on our abilities. In any case, this trial requires us to kill. We can use this formation map as an excuse to save us the trouble of finding others to kill. Agreed. Then who will take the lead? An old man walked forward. Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars. The formation diagrams were just a way of saying that they were certain that Lin Xian had all sorts of powerful formations from the ancient times that had been lost. This was definitely a heaven-defying good thing. If they could learn it and set up a formation in their own territory, no one would dare come. Or, if he were to secretly release an array during the battle, he would definitely be able to turn the situation around. This old man will give it a try. Shua, with that said, he charged forward. Mu Qianshuang stood there. With a Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars taking action, his array formations were likely useless. Just as expected, the Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars had unimaginable strength as they destroyed Lin Xian's array formations in an unstoppable manner. Normal formations had to be broken, and when the disparity in power was too great, it was completely possible to destroy these formations with absolute power. Gee! Upon seeing this scene, many people scoffed. He's indeed a brainless fellow. These array formations that look very powerful are like ants in front of a Heavenly Tao Realm's 7th stage. He thinks he's very smart by choosing a method that can quickly kill more people, but in fact, he's sacrificing himself. Then why did he scold everyone? Even if he didn't scold everyone by being so ostentatious, he should have attracted the attention of even stronger experts. He will definitely die. Mu Qianshuang did not move. She had no obligation to protect this person. He had done it himself, so who was to blame? As for Lin Xian, he did not panic at all. He knew that there were Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars and Heavenly Tao Realm 6 stars present. Since Lin Xian had done so, it meant that Lin Xian already had a foolproof plan. This was because there was an array formation here. This array formation had expended most of Lin Xian's effort. The array formation might not be able to kill a Heavenly Tao Realm 7 star since Lin Xian's strength and realm were limited, but there was something good inside that was enough to kill him with the array formation. Soon, the elder came to a spot about 20 meters in front of Lin Xian. However, he stopped and frowned. Experts of this level would be able to detect even the slightest abnormality in their surroundings. Shua! A black force rose into the sky, trapping the expert inside. As for the people outside, they did not think much of it. They appeared very strong, but this expert could easily destroy and penetrate it with a casual strike, right? Boom! A powerful force erupted from within, but it did not instantly destroy the array formation like before. The black energy was gradually spreading towards that expert, and that expert released a terrifying power several times, but he didn't rush out. What's going on? This array formation clearly isn't that strong. Why can't the expert charge out? Strange, it's really strange. But why couldn't the expert charge out? The reason was very simple. Poison. This poison did not have any particularly powerful lethality, but it was definitely effective on the expert. When setting up the array formation, Lin Xian had placed the poison pill in the core of the array. Lin Xian had obtained it from the Grand Hall, so Lin Xian knew what kind of poison pill it was, and what its effects were. It was quite a powerful poison pill. Now, this expert's strength had been greatly weakened by the poison, causing him to be unable to break out of the already powerful array formation. Then, these people watched helplessly as the expert was unable to retreat, and was engulfed by the black force. In the beginning, he was still struggling, releasing all sorts of terrifying forces, but they were all devoured by the unknown black force. Slowly, the expert's movements became smaller and smaller. His movements also became softer and softer until he was completely silent. Chapter 1768. Gulp. The surroundings were filled with the sounds of people gulping and inhaling. Gone. Was he really gone? There was silence. They watched helplessly as the elder was devoured by the darkness before being completely devoured. From the beginning, he struggled with all his might to the point of losing strength. Finally, he completely vanished as he was devoured without a sound. Is he really dead? That can't be right. It's probably just an illusion. Let's watch and see what happens later. After all, that's a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. I don't believe that something like that can kill a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star in such a short period of time. Yes, I don't think it's that simple. Let's watch. We'll be able to tell soon. Shwa. The black fog slowly dissipated. Everyone stared intently at the object in the black fog. Pada. A corpse fell from midair and landed on the ground. What? Those experts widened their eyes, and some of them even stepped back subconsciously. What had happened? The Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star wasn't just a simple corpse. His body had already vanished, leaving behind only a skeleton. The skeleton fell to the ground and shattered into countless pieces. Clearly, this was the elder who had been trapped in the black fog. He had been devoured by the black fog in a short period of time. He struggled and fell silent, before dying silently. The most ridiculous thing was that he was a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. How did he do it? No matter how powerful the array formation was, it was only set up by a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. How could he set up such a powerful array formation? Logically speaking, the array formation shouldn't be that powerful, right? They could roughly sense it, but it was true that the Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star had been devoured. He was unable to struggle out at all before perishing. It was a little terrifying. Mu Qianshuang watched this scene with knitted brows. How did he do it? It had to be said that she had underestimated Lin Xian. He was really not that simple. To be able to condense such an array formation, there was only one word to describe him. Freakish. Even a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star had died under his hands. Regardless of whether the array formation could still be used, as long as the array formation did not vanish in front of them, they did not dare take another step forward. There are still so many people. Continue coming. Lin Xian smiled and waved at them. Damn it. Those people gnashed their teeth in anger. He trembled with rage. They really couldn't stand being provoked by a kid whose cultivation was so low in their eyes. However, a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-stars had died right in front of their eyes. They really did not dare take another step forward. Between their displeasure and their own lives, they would obviously choose the latter. Brat, even if you can stay here, do you think you'll be fine? This old man wants to see if you can still be so arrogant after this trial ends, and if you survive it. An old man pointed and snorted coldly. Yes, the activation of the formation needed time. Now that he was relying on this formation, no one dared to go near him. But even if he became one of the 3,000 survivors, how could he leave this place? After leaving this place, he would be a 1-star Heavenly Tao Realm expert. He would not have the time to condense an array formation. Without the array formations, they could easily kill him instantly. F*CKU. Lin Xian cursed at that person. You. The expert gnashed his teeth. Just you wait. The old man snorted coldly before walking away. Trash, do any of you dare come up? If not, scram. Don't embarrass yourselves. Lin Xian shouted at the group of people. All of them gnashed their teeth in hatred. But there was nothing they could do. Following that, those people left one after another. Hey. Lin Xian saw Mu Qianshuang and waved at her with a smile. Come over. No need. Mu Qianshuang shook her head. You're on your own now. With that said, Mu Qianshuang left. Lin Xian sat there as he stroked his chin. What do I do now? With the array formation in place, these people clearly did not dare enter. Killing so many people didn't seem like it was enough, right? The number of people he had killed was definitely the highest, but it was hard to tell how much time had passed. However, with a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star, Lin Xian was certain that no one here had ever killed a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. It's nothing much. Let's continue staying here. After all, there are only a few hundred people who saw this scene. There are more than 10,000 people here. There will definitely be people who don't know of this and send themselves to their deaths. After all, this wasn't the outside world where everyone was killing each other. It was impossible for the news to spread like wildfire to everyone, right? It was impossible to say that when a few people fought, they had to ask first. Hey, do you know that someone set up an array formation to kill a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star? That was unrealistic. Yeah, let's wait. Time slowly passed soon. A total of 10 hours had passed. There were only 2 hours left. Lin Xian roughly glanced at the location. There were about 6,000 people left alive. That also meant that 3,000 people would die in 2 hours. And even if they didn't die, only 3,000 people would survive when the time was up. The remaining people would be killed according to the number and quality of the people killed. The ones with the lowest ranking would be killed. Therefore, in order to survive in these 2 hours, some people had to be even crazier and take more risks. As for Lin Xian, he had killed enough. He had killed more than 100 people. It was hard to say if he was first, but he was likely in the top 3. This was because the people Lin Xian killed were of very high quality. Many of them were at the Heavenly Dao Realm. After all, those who weren't at the Heavenly Dao Realm mostly hid in order to survive. They used all sorts of means to avoid the pursuit of others. And with Lin Xian here, others had taken the initiative to come. This was because they could see Lin Xian's location. And since they took the initiative to come, it meant that they came to kill. Those who came to kill were basically confident in their strength. Therefore, most of them were at the Heavenly Dao Realm. As such, Lin Xian might even be first. I wonder how many people Mu Qianshuang has killed. Lin Xian pondered. Mu Qianshuang was powerful. Her realm was likely at the Heavenly Dao Realm 7-star. To be honest, she was really powerful. Linglong Shui was only at the Heavenly Dao Realm 2-star. However, Linglong Shui was rather special. Apart from her powerful bloodline, she was of the spatial attribute. She spent most of her energy cultivating spatial attributes. Therefore, her Heavenly Dao Realm 2-star was extremely terrifying. At this moment, Lin Xian looked ahead and frowned. Mu Qianshuang was being pursued by several people in the void, and she appeared to be injured. Chapter 1769. Lin Xian was rather surprised. Why was Mu Qianshuang injured? Her realm was obvious. Furthermore, under normal circumstances, it was impossible for an expert of a higher realm to target an expert of her realm. It was because the gains did not make up for the losses. Even if one fought normally for 3 days and 3 nights, it would be very difficult to slay a Heavenly Dao Realm 7-star unless something unexpected happened. But now Lin Xian took a glance, and it did seem like something unexpected had happened. Mu Qianshuang's situation was not very good. It was very likely that she had been plotted against. If not, she would not have ended up in such a state even if several top experts were attacking her. She was absolutely capable of suppressing these experts in terms of bloodline. Swish! Lin Xian then released a spatial dimension force at Mu Qianshuang. Her figure vanished into the void. Normally, Mu Qianshuang could ignore Lin Xian's spatial dimension, because the difference in strength was too great. But at that instant, Mu Qianshuang sensed the spatial dimension and knew that it was released by Lin Xian. She chose to accept it. Open! Swish! Lin Xian opened up a passageway in the array formation. Then Mu Qianshuang used Lin Xian's spatial dimension to appear beside Lin Xian. You were poisoned? Lin Xian looked at Mu Qianshuang. Indeed, it was as Lin Xian had guessed. Mu Qianshuang was very strong. Against those people, even if they were all at the Heavenly Dao Realm 7-star, she would not be afraid. At the very least, she would not die. However, if she had been poisoned by a poison that could threaten a Heavenly Dao Realm 7-star, it would severely weaken her combat strength. She could not escape even if she wanted to because this place was only so big. She could not leave. Mu Qianshuang nodded. Swish! Those people landed not far away. Humph! You still want to save her? An elder's eyes focused. Wait! Another old man stopped him. What's the matter? This place is filled with powerful array formations. A Heavenly Dao Realm expert was devoured in a short period of time and reduced to bones. I saw it with my own eyes. What? Upon hearing this, they revealed shocked expressions. Indeed. Then, why don't we work together and see if we can break this array formation? I don't think it's going to work. There are many top-notch formations where the more people there are, the stronger they become. I don't recommend it. Damn it. Am I going to let a Heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars escape just like that? An old man gritted his teeth. Clearly, they were also afraid. The main reason was that a heavenly Tao Realm 7-star had died just like that. Furthermore, it had happened in such a short period of time. They were truly afraid. To the heavenly Tao realm, a power that could easily slay a heavenly Tao was something they were extremely afraid of. Don't worry, they can't come over, Lin Xian said to Mu Qianshuang. Thank you. You saved my life, and I saved yours. I'm returning the favor, Lin Xian said. Mu Qianshuang closed her eyes and sat down to recuperate. She then asked, Are you sure this spirit array can block it? If they dare to come in, I can kill them all. The experts outside were also very hesitant. However, this woman might have some faction backing her. Since we have already offended her, if we don't eliminate her here, I'm afraid. Then if the attempt fails, wouldn't it be? I think we can give it a try. First, this spirit array has already expended a large amount of energy to devour a heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. I believe it doesn't have much energy left. Even if the number of spirit array users increases in strength, there's still a limit. Second, the 5 of us are heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars. If all 5 of us are wiped out by this spirit array, there's no reason for it. Third, the person who released this spirit array is only a heavenly Tao Realm 1-star warrior. That's already the limit. Although the spirit array is extremely powerful, I don't think a heavenly Tao Realm 1-star warrior can defy the heavens. Yeah, that makes sense. Then let's make our preparations. After all, they won't be able to escape. There are still 2 hours, so there's still time. The poison in that woman's body can't be cured. She will only be poisoned even more. They were still very confident in the poison, but it was true. A poison that could put a heavenly Tao Realm 7-star in danger was definitely no ordinary poison. How did you get poisoned? Lin Xian asked. I was careless. She had indeed been careless. She originally believed that there was only one heavenly Tao Realm 7-star, but she never expected that so many of them would join forces to deal with the heavenly Tao Realm 5 and 6 stars. This gave them a high chance of killing them. As for Mu Qianshuang, she had been locked on to buy them. It was mainly because they had probed her. Mu Qianshuang had been careless and was poisoned, making it impossible for her to fight them. If she continued fighting and released her spirit energy, it would rapidly accelerate the poison's eruption. Let me take a look. Give me your hand. Lin Xian knew that these people wouldn't come so easily, but they might come. The spirit array might not be able to stop them. Therefore, if Lin Xian wanted to be safe, he had to treat Mu Qianshuang. Mu Qianxue looked at Lin Xian in surprise. I'm also a doctor. Doctors weren't considered rare, but this poison of hers, how could a wimpy kid in his 20s cure it? That was the crux of the matter. But now, she didn't have any other thoughts. She could only treat a dead horse as a living one. Hurry up. Then Mu Qianshuang stretched out her hand. Lin Xian held her hand. See, good girl. Supreme grade. However, Lin Xian didn't have such thoughts at the moment. Tell me about your current situation. Lin Xian asked as he checked her pulse. Meridians and bones are in intense pain. Using spirit energy will accelerate the poison's flow. It's very aggressive and the poison is flowing towards the heart. Mu Qianshuang said. Heart-gnawing poison. Lin Xian released his hand. Heart-gnawing poison. Mu Qianshuang knitted her brows tightly. She had heard of it before and knew what the poison was. However, she couldn't immediately recognize the poison when she was poisoned, but she knew what it was after knowing its name. It's a very difficult poison to cure, but it's not an incurable poison. It's just that she absolutely can't cure it here. And she's afraid that she won't be able to survive until she leaves this place. Under normal circumstances, she wouldn't say that something bad would happen. She might even be able to hold on for a few weeks. However, being poisoned in the demon god forbidden ground, it's impossible for her to leave this place alive. I can cure it, Lin Xian said. Huh. Mu Qianshuang looked at Lin Xian strangely. This poison, he can cure it? Fortunately, you've only been poisoned for less than 2 hours. The poison hasn't reached the critical point yet. I can cure it for you. Lie down. Shua. Lin Xian then released a barrier, isolating the outside. No one outside could see the situation inside. Chapter 1770. Lying down? Mu Qianshuang frowned. Hey, are you still thinking that I'm going to take advantage of you? Lin Xian looked at Mu Qianshuang and asked. Mu Qianshuang hesitated for a moment, and then said, Can you really detoxify the poison? Nonsense, if I can't detoxify the poison, why would I let you lie down? Hurry up, don't waste time. Mu Qianshuang then turned around and lied down. You have to take off your skirt. Lin Xian said. Mu Qianshuang frowned. I have to do acupuncture. Your skirt is too wrinkled, and it will affect my acupuncture. Moreover, the poison will be expelled later. This poison is very strong. I guess your skirt won't be able to keep it. Mu Qianshuang hesitated for a moment, and then slowly took off her skirt. Of course, there were other clothes inside. Hiss, Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. It's really the best. What's the success rate? 100%. Lin Xian said. Lin Xian then took out a silver needle. Shua, the silver needle was released. Lin Xian then took out a pill. Eat it. Mu Qianshuang didn't have any doubts because even if she didn't eat it, she wouldn't be able to survive. Then Lin Xian took out a spirit treasure of heaven and earth and plucked a petal. Take it. Lin Xian then said. I'm forcibly detoxifying you. It's not an antidote, so it won't be that comfortable during this period. Mu Qianshuang could understand Lin Xian's words. Lin Xian put his hand on Mu Qianshuang's butt. Mu Qianshuang. Ding. Touch little sisters but, Prince Charming points plus 500,000. Don't move, you still have 2 acupuncture points. I have to prick them. Mu Qianshuang frowned. I know medicine, she said coldly. Lin Xian's hand was placed there awkwardly. Ha 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 ha. Lin Xian smiled awkwardly and moved his hand away. Then, he gathered spiritual energy in his right hand and patted her back. Outside, the 5 experts had more or less made their decision. Gentlemen, let's begin. Yes, let's do it. Shua. Then they erupted with extremely terrifying power and charged over. Then they were trapped by the powerful array formation. Don't hold back. Release your strongest strength. With our 5 Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars cultivation levels, we will forcefully break through this array formation. Alright. About 20 minutes later, the 5 Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars successfully broke through the powerful array formation while panting. The 5 Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars spent 20 minutes to break through. It was obvious that the array formation was indeed very impressive. This array formation is truly terrifying. If the person who released this array formation was a 3-star Heavenly Tao Realm warrior, it might really be dangerous. Their brows were tightly knitted. But now it doesn't matter, they have already broken through, and Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang are right in front of them. Break. An expert bellowed angrily and released a powerful force, shattering Lin Xian's barrier. Then they saw Mu Qianshuang meditating while Lin Xian stood there smoking a cigarette. Upon seeing this scene, they sneered. A Heavenly Tao Realm 1-star clearly did not have the right to stop them. The remaining Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star woman was already poisoned, so she could not stir up any trouble. Killing her was only a matter of time. A Heavenly Tao Realm 1-star actually managed to hold us back for so long. Then, it's time to send you on your way. So, an expert immediately rushed towards Lin Xian. He wanted to use the fastest speed and the simplest method to deal with one of them first. After dealing with Lin Xian, they would then join forces to deal with the poisoned Mu Qianshuang. However, Mu Qianshuang opened her beautiful eyes. He did not expect Mu Qianshuang to take action because she was poisoned. Furthermore, it had been so long that she did not have much combat strength left. If she were to take action, the poison would only worsen, so he did not expect it. Furthermore, Mu Qianshuang's attacks in such a state could not cause any substantial damage unless she was tired of living and wanted to fight to the death. However, Mu Qianshuang had already recovered to her peak state. Therefore a lightning-fast strike blocked his attack. The Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars pupils constricted. His condition was not good to begin with. Lin Xian's array had drained too much of his stamina. Furthermore, the array had more or less injured them. Mu Qianshuang was now enraged. She was enraged and at her peak state. She was not to be trifled with. Sword Spirit. Mu Qianshuang locked her powerful strength onto the expert. What? The 4 experts behind her felt the strength that Mu Qianshuang had released, and their pupils constricted. No, wasn't she poisoned? How could he still erupt with such power? Furthermore, looking at her condition, it seemed like Lin Xian stood there smoking as he admired the beautiful Mu Qianshuang's performance. Of course, Lin Xian did not know what she looked like, but she was definitely extremely beautiful. She faced 5 heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars alone, and even held the advantage. Holy sh*t. This woman is really strong. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. However, it was also because the 5 heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars were not in good condition. Furthermore, Mu Qianshuang was furious, so the strength she displayed was extremely terrifying. Run. The 5 heavenly Dao Realm 7 stars were not Mu Qianshuang's match. They could guarantee that they would not die, but they could not guarantee that they would not suffer serious injuries. And since Mu Qianshuang could let the 4 of them escape, she would definitely leave one behind. With the 5 of them running together, Mu Qianshuang could not split herself, but she had to kill one today. Then, she randomly chose an unlucky one and charged forward, throwing Lin Xian to the side. Lin Xian rubbed the tip of his nose. In the surroundings, there were still some people guarding this place. They saw that the array formation had been broken by those experts, and now, that woman was chasing after another expert. Then did that mean that they could now make a move on this man? He was only at the heavenly Dao Realm 1 star. Furthermore, he did not have the time to set up an array formation. F***K. Did I tell you to posture so much previously? Punk, let's see what you can do now. Die for me. A heavenly Dao Realm 3 star charged at Lin Xian. And clearly he was not in good condition because he had been fighting for a very long time. As for Lin Xian, he was already in peak condition. You are only a 3 star. Yet you dare act so arrogantly in front of me? Lin Xian's eyes focused. Realm lowers domain, realm raises domain. Create laws. Second level of the Paramount Sage Heart Technique. Strength multiplied. Lin Xian immediately went all out. He did not hesitate to expend large amounts of his spiritual energy to forcefully suppress his 3-star heavenly Dao realm to 1 star. Then instantly, Chapter 1771. Perhaps it was truly impossible for others to insta-kill them. Even if you were a 2-star heavenly Dao realm warrior, it would be very difficult to kill a 1-star heavenly Dao realm warrior. However, this was only targeted at some special people, who were experts with powerful killing abilities. And Lin Xian clearly possessed such an ability. His attributes and martial techniques had such an ability. What? There were still people around. When they saw the 3-star heavenly Dao realm warrior being insta-killed by Lin Xian in a few moves, they were dumbfounded. Escape was impossible. After Lin Xian released his domain, a 2-star heavenly Dao realm warrior would be reduced to a 1-star heavenly Dao realm warrior's cultivation level. With a spatial seal, he could forget about escaping for the rest of his life. Then, with spatial blast firmly hitting him, and with Lin Xian's strength, how was he to survive? Space was an extremely terrifying thing to rely on. Who said that heavenly Dao realm warriors were difficult to kill? To Lin Xian, as long as the disparity wasn't too great, he could kill them. But at the same time, Lin Xian's outburst drained a great deal of his spiritual energy. However, Lin Xian also knew that by easily killing a 3-star as a 1-star, he had already frightened the people who were secretly watching him. Others originally believed that Lin Xian had relied on an array formation, but now, from the looks of it, they were shocked. His strength was also that strong. Lin Xian swept his gaze across the crowd. Some of them even retreated. Trash! Lin Xian sneered. Swish! Mu Qianshuang's figure appeared beside Lin Xian, as she looked at the 3-star heavenly Dao realm warrior's corpse. How long had it been? How long had she been gone? He had killed a 3-star heavenly Dao realm warrior? He ran. Lin Xian looked at her and asked. Killed him? Lin Xian. No, that's a heavenly Dao realm warrior. You killed him so quickly? Yeah. In a one-on-one situation, It was quite ridiculous for a Heavenly Dao Realm warrior to kill a Heavenly Dao Realm warrior. Most importantly, he had done it in such a short period of time. Impressive. Who was this woman? Why was he so strong? However, it was normal for the devil race to have such a strong member, just like how the human race also had such a strong member. It was just that Lin Xian hadn't encountered one yet. Otherwise, wouldn't this human be crushed by a single touch from the demon race? Thank you, Mu Qianshuang said to Lin Xian. Clearly, she was thanking Lin Xian for detoxifying her. If Lin Xian had not cured her of the poison, she would not have been able to continue her journey in the God-Beast Forbidden Ground, not to mention the danger that the 5 experts posed to her. He would definitely die here. We're even. Yes. Mu Qianshuang nodded. It's almost time. How many have you killed? Lin Xian asked. You should be the one with the most. Mu Qianshuang lightly said. I've only killed about 100 or so. It was as though 100 or so people were negligible against 15,000 people. But if one thought about it, everyone was killing. Furthermore, Lin Xian had killed so many that nearly all of them were at the Heavenly Dao Realm. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Mu Qianshuang nodded. Hey, about that. Who are you? Lin Xian asked Mu Qianshuang. You don't need to know. We've been through life and death together. We can be considered friends, right? As for me, you should know, right? It's fine if we just get to know each other a little, right? There's no need. Mu Qianshuang rejected. Lin Xian faltered slightly. What was this chick hiding from him? All right. Lin Xian then sat there. There's not much time left. Let's wait for it to end. Mu Qianshuang sat beside Lin Xian to recuperate. Why did she sit beside Lin Xian? Perhaps it was because she was protecting Lin Xian. After all, Lin Xian had easily killed a Heavenly Dao Realm 3-star, but if he were to encounter someone stronger, something would still happen to him. And after all, Lin Xian had saved her. Although they did not owe each other anything, he had saved her life. Mu Qianshuang was still very grateful to Lin Xian. The final moment quickly passed. Suddenly, more than 100 bolts of lightning struck down from every direction. Following that, everything fell silent. These 100 or so bolts of lightning should have killed more than 100 people, leaving only 3,000 people alive. These 100 or so people should have had the worst results, so they were killed. Lin Xian pondered slightly. It was rather interesting. The Fey God Forbidden Ground was definitely controlled by an expert. Perhaps it was just a remnant soul, but it was definitely very powerful. A gigantic pillar of light appeared in front of him. The survivors entered the pillar of light one after another. Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang walked in as well. After entering, Lin Xian appeared in the white space once again. He was alone again. A voice sounded out of the void. Congratulations on obtaining first place in the trial of death. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. In fact, he had killed more than 100 people. Furthermore, there were many Heavenly Dao, and even a Heavenly Dao Realm 7-star. His first place was well deserved. The others might be constantly killing, but their efficiency was definitely not as high as Lin Xian's. What's the reward? Lin Xian asked. Life. Oh. Lin Xian frowned. Life. From this moment forth, you will have 72 hours of life. This is your reward for coming in first place. If you are unable to leave this place after 72 hours, you will remain here forever. Lin Xian. First place only has 72 hours? Lin Xian frowned. Second place only has 48 hours. Lin Xian. What about the lowest? 2,500 people only have 3 hours. Only 20 people have a lifespan of more than a day. Lin Xian. Holy shit. Then what's the point of wasting time? Hurry up and send me out. Shua Lin Xian then vanished. When Lin Xian appeared again, he was by the sea. And here, there were already tens of thousands of people waiting. Oh, Lin Xian frowned. It's likely that the people from the other passageways are here. From the looks of it, the people from the 12 entrances will be gathered here. Lin Xian pondered slightly. Not far away, a figure's gaze landed on Lin Xian. It was a woman in a blue dress. It was obvious at a glance that she was extraordinary. She only glanced at Lin Xian for a moment before shifting her attention away. That's right. She was the woman who came from Mount Tianyao under her master's orders to protect and find a way to bring Lin Xian to Mount Tianyao. At first, she also wanted to go to the same passageway as Lin Xian. However, when she arrived at the God-Fiend Forbidden Grounds, Lin Xian had already entered one of the passageways. She didn't know which one he had entered, so she just randomly entered one. Lin Xian activated his Eye of Cave Spirit. What were these people waiting here for? Did they not have a lifespan? That shouldn't be the case, right? Also, damn it. They had already come out from that passageway. Why didn't they encounter any halls? Logically speaking, they should be given some benefits. Chapter 1772. When Lin Xian saw Mu Qianshuang walking over, he smiled and walked over. What's your rank? Lin Xian asked. Second. That's good. Is second 48 hours? Lin Xian asked. Mu Qianshuang nodded. I'm in first place, 72 hours. Mu Qianshuang nodded again. Her beautiful eyes looked at the other 10,000 people. Are these people the same as us? Mu Qianshuang asked. I don't know. I just came out and didn't talk to them. Yes. But they look the same. Why did he say that? This was because Lin Xian overheard some of the conversations. They were asking about the time, and 90% of them had all sorts of impatient looks on their faces. That's right, they might have gone through completely different trials and dangers compared to Lin Xian and the others. However, in the end, they received the same thing as Lin Xian and the others. They all had a fixed amount of time to survive. Everyone, it's almost time. Let's not wait anymore. Although there are still many people who haven't come, we really can't wait anymore. An expert said in despair. Yes, everyone, let's go forward together. We really can't wait anymore. Everyone, let's go together. More and more people stood up and shouted in despair. Why was it like this? Lin Xian didn't need to think to know that these people didn't have much time left to live. What was everyone doing here? They stayed here to wait for the others to follow. Everyone knew how dangerous this place was, so it was safer for everyone to move forward together. However, for those who didn't have much time left to live, if they were to wait here and waste time here, then they would definitely die, so they were anxious. There were already so many people, there was really no need to continue waiting. If these people still wanted to wait, then they really couldn't wait any longer. Even if there was a lot of danger ahead, they still had to rush forward because there wasn't much time left. Who knew how long it would take for them to leave? Yes, this old man thinks it's about time. We should continue moving forward. An old man said. Yes, it's about time. There should be tens of thousands of people who haven't arrived yet. However, we already have so many people. It's enough. We can't afford to waste time. Then let's set off. Then everyone looked at the sea. Everyone, there must be a reason why airspace is forbidden in this area. Everyone be careful. An expert said. Here you can't fly, you can only jump. As for how high you can jump and how far you can jump, it depends on your own ability. But no matter what your realm is, as long as you can't break free from this restriction, you can't fly. You can only stand on the sea and walk forward. Therefore, they concluded that the danger must be in the sea, because they weren't allowed to fly, so they had to be careful. Let's go together. We can look after each other. I have the space. Since this place forbids flying, I think the space should be able to play a greater role. Lin Xian said to Mu Qianshuang. It's not that Lin Xian is pestering her, but that this woman triggered the mission. Secondly, she is quite special. She saved Lin Xian and them. At the same time, Lin Xian really wants to know why she saved him. It's strange. If she isn't Xue Qilin, then why did she save me? She didn't say anything, nor did she say anything about my identity. Lin Xian felt strange. You say, she saved a stranger for no reason? Lin Xian doesn't think that such a thing will happen. What's more, Lin Xian doesn't think that she saved him because she fell in love with him. Okay. Mu Qianshuang didn't refuse. Because Lin Xian saved her. At the same time, according to Mu Qianshuang's current understanding of Lin Xian, he is capable. Although his realm isn't high, but he is capable. The woman looked at Lin Xian and Mu Qianshuang with a frown. It's her. Her beautiful eyes flickered with a hint of understanding. Why is she with this Lin Xian? Is it because she has a purpose? No. But if I walk over, won't it be too obvious? Her master had told her to come here and get close to Lin Xian. Then no matter what method she had to use, she had to bring him to Mount Tianyao without first mentioning certain things. But now she is with Lin Xian. How should I get close to Lin Xian? The main thing is that if she is with Lin Xian, then it will look strange if I go over. Because that woman is too smart, she will definitely see something. Moreover, her identity is very sensitive. And if she takes the initiative to wait for this Lin Xian to come over, then the probability is not high. No. After weighing the pros and cons, Su Qining decided to go over. Otherwise, she may not be able to complete the mission given to her by her master. Then Su Qining walked over. Mu Qianshuang's gaze also saw Su Qining. They know each other and are old rivals. Although they are both wearing veils, they can still recognize each other. Maybe they can recognize the smell on their bodies. Why are you here? Su Qining's target is Mu Qianshuang. It is very natural. Her purpose of greeting is to get close to Lin Xian. Mu Qianshuang frowned and looked at her. Then why are you here? Mu Qianshuang asked. Lin Xian, ding. Congratulations on triggering the mission. Successful confession to Su Qining. Mission reward. Random divine level physique. Mission time limit. 3 months. Mission punishment. Buzzer disappears. The current mission has been forcibly accepted. Lin Xian. Oh my god. What kind of situation is this? Lin Xian really hasn't triggered a mission for a long time. Lin Xian felt that it's about time. How many girls does he have? There are even a few that he hasn't won over yet. He hasn't really confessed yet. Lin Xian really doesn't want to go womanizing anymore. But, what's going on? What's going on? Isn't it just a trip to the demon god empire? Why did he trigger 2 quests? Mu Qianshuang is still okay. Lin Xian can still accept it. After all, she is a cold beauty with a temperament. Lin Xian likes this kind of beauty. But one is enough. Now another one has appeared. This Su Qining is clearly carved out from the same grind as Mu Qianshuang. Their personalities seem to be about the same. They were both cold and icy beauties. Moreover, they must be very proud and aloof. What should he do? Triggering 2 missions at once, Lin Xian really can't take it anymore. This is too difficult. Damn. Chapter 1773. Su Qining felt that Mu Qianshuang was unusual here. Similarly, Mu Qianxue also believed that Su Qining's goal here was definitely not simple. It couldn't be for the treasures of the Fey God Forbidden Grounds, right? Perhaps it was Lin Xian? It could be. This was because she believed that Lin Xian might be that senior's disciple and would be her future opponent. Then, as that senior's disciple, it was reasonable for Su Qining to come here. I'm just here to see if I can encounter any opportunities. Su Qining said indifferently. Me too. Mu Qianshuang said. This is. Then Su Qining's gaze landed on Lin Xian before looking at Mu Qianshuang. I'm quite surprised that you have a man beside you. Lin Xian then smiled and extended his hand to Su Qining. Hello. I'm friends with her. We might develop into a couple in the future. Mu Qianshuang. Her beautiful eyes narrowed slightly. What nonsense was this bastard spouting? Oh. Su Qining looked at Mu Qianshuang. Just friends. We just met. Su Qining nodded without saying anything. Pretty sister, are you good friends? Lin Xian looked at Su Qining and asked. No. The two shook their heads in unison and said indifferently. Lin Xian was taken aback. This not friends? Just acquaintances? That wasn't right. Think about it. Even if they were just acquaintances and not friends, there was a high chance that they wouldn't come over to greet each other. At least, if they didn't meet and were extremely close to each other, they wouldn't greet each other. What's more, they were 2 top-notch experts and girls with such personalities. All the more they wouldn't come over to greet each other. Furthermore, Lin Xian used his Eye of Cave Spirit to take a look. Oh my god. He couldn't see Su Qining's realm. which meant that her realm was likely Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars. Indeed, birds of a feather flock together. The kind of person, the people around them would be the same. However, Lin Xian wasn't sure if they were older or younger than Linglong Shui. It was hard to say. However, although Linglong Shui's realm wasn't as high, it was mostly because she had spent all her effort on cultivating the space. Yi Renbing's realm wasn't too high. She couldn't help it. Sometimes, the stronger the bloodline of the dragons, the faster their realm would increase. However, there was a definite point, and that was that the stronger their bloodline, the more difficult it would be to raise their cultivation by 1 star, and the greater the improvement they would receive after successfully advancing. To put it simply, if other people received +1 to all their stats, Linglong Shui and Yi Renbing would receive +2 to all their stats. This was the advantage of bloodlines. Why wasn't it certain that one's realm would rise quickly? Just like Lin Xian, the amount of experience he needed to level up was double that of a normal martial artist. Could it be said that Lin Xian was inferior to them? It couldn't be. Bloodline determined your combat power and the height you could reach. It didn't have much to do with your cultivation speed. Of course, it was impossible to compare the strongest with the weakest, right? Then let's go together. We can take care of each other. Lin Xian said. Lin Xian would definitely try to be with these 2 girls who triggered the mission. Along the way, it would be faster to gain the favor of these 2 girls than to do it one by one, right? And no need. The 2 girls gave 2 different answers. Su Qining nodded her head. Mu Qianshuang refused. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Let's go together. Lin Xian. Then let's go together. Mu Qianshuang said. If it was before, she would have left without hesitation, but it was different now. The arrival of this Su Qining made Mu Qianshuang feel that something was wrong. Coupled with Su Qining's special identity, Mu Qianshuang felt that it was necessary to follow and see what she wanted to do. Su Qining obviously didn't want Mu Qianshuang to follow, but she couldn't make it too obvious. She would wait and see. Then, since you know each other, beautiful sister, tell me about her identity. Also, what's your identity? I'm quite curious. Then we'll be friends in the future, right? We can take care of each other and get to know each other. Lin Xian said with a smile. You're friends with her, but you don't even know her identity? Su Qining looked at Lin Xian and asked. Mu Qianshuang frowned. After all, we just met not long ago, right? Lin Xian said with a smile. Mu Qianshuang didn't say anything and walked forward. Pretty sister, tell me about it. Lin Xian then said to Su Qining. You'll know. With that, she also walked forward. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. What was going on? Then Lin Xian also followed. A large group of people had already gathered here. Everyone, let's go. Let's go. Shua. Then they all stepped on the surface of the sea and rushed forward. Lin Xian opened his eye of cave spirit and looked at the surface of the sea. At the moment he couldn't see anything. Then the 3 of them also stepped on the surface of the sea and rushed forward. Beautiful sister, how much time do you have? Lin Xian asked. 72. Su Qining said lightly. The same as me. She looked at Lin Xian in surprise. This Lin Xian got first place? Su Qining didn't say anything more. They continued to walk forward. There were many people in front, and they were all very anxious. Because time was tight, they rushed forward at a very fast speed. Although they couldn't fly, everyone's realm was here, and their speed was very fast. In a short time, they were already very far from the coast. Slow down, let's slow down. There's no rush. Let the people in front die first and scout the way for us. Isn't that better? Lin Xian said helplessly to the 2 beautiful girls. This is the advantage of having more time. Since we have more time, we have to make full use of it. The others don't have much time, and they can rush forward impatiently. They can scout the way for us. Their speed slowed down a little. The main thing was that they were like this. Moreover, when the 2 of them were together, they could compete. No matter what, they could compete. At this moment, many people stopped in their tracks. Look ahead. Their gazes were looking forward. In front of them, a huge monster appeared in the sea. It appeared on the surface of the sea. This huge monster looked a little like an octopus, but it was too big. Its entire body was in the sea, and the part that was exposed was probably close to 100 meters tall. Most of its hands were waving, and its entire body was blood red. It was extremely terrifying. Abyss disaster. Seeing this huge monster, some people recognized it. The moment they recognized it, their pupils suddenly shrank. Chapter 1774. Abyss Calamity was an extremely terrifying fey beast. It had a very top-notch bloodline. This bloodline might not be comparable to the Void Fox, Dragon, Phoenix, or Qilin. However, it was an extremely terrifying existence. This was because the Abyss Calamity was extremely powerful. Apart from that, it might be an Abyss Calamity, but it was very likely that there was more than meets the eye beneath the sea. Furthermore, the Abyss Calamity had extremely powerful recovery abilities. Of course, no matter how powerful it was, it could still be killed. However, this Abyss Calamity's realm might exceed everyone present. It likely had a Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star cultivation level. And for an existence of this level, an 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star, in addition to its beast form and its special abilities, even with so many people present, it was probably not easy to defeat. Gulp. Everyone gulped a mouthful of saliva. After all, Lin Xian did not have the ability to fight such a monster. Although he knew that the Abyss Calamity was very powerful, Lin Xian carefully thought about it. There were more than 10,000 people present. Furthermore, they were all at the Heavenly Tao Realm. There were also many Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars. From Lin Xian's point of view, there should be nearly 100 Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars, right? Although an 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm 7 star was powerful, with so many experts and so many means, it should not be a problem to deal with it. However, beside Lin Xian, Mu Qianshuang and Su Qining frowned. An Abyss Calamity at the Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star will be difficult to handle. Mu Qianshuang pondered. An 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star is 1 star higher than all of you. With so many people and means, can't you beat it? Lin Xian asked. Mu Qianshuang said indifferently. In the Heavenly Tao Realm, the first 7 stars are relatively easy to raise. There is an absolute divide between 7 and 8 stars. Even for races with powerful bloodlines like dragons and phoenixes, many of them will be stuck at the 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm their entire lives. Therefore, this Abyss Calamity at the 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm is very difficult to handle. There's such a matter? Lin Xian pondered slightly. Roar. The abyssal disaster let out a terrifying roar. Its huge tentacles covered the sky and the earth as they attacked. It casually slapped the sea surface, and a huge tsunami of several hundred meters in size rushed over. Run! Many people's pupils constricted when they saw this scene. Those who had reached the Heavenly Tao Realm were fine. Although the tsunami was filled with the power of the Abyss Calamity, it was ultimately not a power directly released by it. A Heavenly Tao Realm's defense was still able to withstand it. However, anyone beneath the Heavenly Tao Realm would probably be smacked to death if they were struck by the tsunami. Even if he didn't die, he wouldn't have a good time. Therefore, many people below the Heavenly Tao Realm subconsciously reacted by running. But when they turned around to escape, red tentacles suddenly reached out from under the sea and wrapped around their necks, legs, or waists, dragging them down into the sea. It was quite strange. Lin Xian saw this scene, and so did many others. However, the people who were dragged down never came back up. It was truly strange. Think about it. It was just a tentacle. Even if it was related to the abyssal disaster, how strong could a tiny tentacle be? Why couldn't they escape? Furthermore, why did they suddenly turn silent after being dragged down? Logically speaking, if a powerful existence was dragged down into the sea, shouldn't they release a powerful strength to escape? However, it was as though they had died after being dragged down. They didn't release any strength at all. Everyone, don't run. Don't retreat. There are countless tentacles under the sea. They won't attack people who are standing still or walking forward, but if you retreat, they will attack. One of the experts yelled. Many experts who had thoughts of retreating suddenly stopped. F***K. After being dragged down, there was no more movement from them. Who dared to retreat? The terrifying tsunami rushed over. Shua, Mu Qianshuang and Su Qining both released a powerful force at the same time, wrapping Lin Xian in it and blocking the powerful tsunami. However, it was different for some people. Some people were directly slapped into the sea and then dragged down by the tentacles. Furthermore, there was a ban on flying. Everyone also understood why this sea region had a ban on flying. Lin Xian pondered slightly. It should be a ban on magic. Lin Xian. This tentacle should have the ability to ban magic. When it bound you, you wouldn't be able to use your spiritual power or demonic power. And for a warrior, if they couldn't use their spiritual power, their combat strength would be reduced by 95%. Therefore, they wanted to struggle, but they lacked the strength to do so. They could only be buried and completely dragged down into the abyss before dying. Everyone! An old man shouted loudly. There's not much time left. We really don't have much time left. While everyone is here, let's work together. Those of us who have less time are naturally pressed for time. But those of you who have more time, if we don't kill it, you will only be exhausted to death. Everyone, let's work together. This abyss calamity's realm might be stronger, but we aren't weak either. There are so many powerful heavenly Tao 7 stars existences. Let's kill it together while everyone is here. Otherwise, we won't be able to move forward. Yes, that makes sense. Everyone, don't hesitate anymore. If anyone hesitates or doesn't do their best, then the one to die will be each and every one of us. Let's do it. All right. Let's do it. Shua. Then countless experts rushed towards the gigantic abyss calamity. As for those with relatively lower realms, they attacked from afar. Abyss calamity, water and thunder attributes, fear fire and ice. Everyone attack. On the other side, Mu Qianshuang glanced at Lin Xian. Can you use your spatial attribute? Su Qining glanced at them. Lin Xian shook his head. I tried just now. I tried to use space to pass through the abyss calamity and continue forward, but I couldn't do it. Furthermore, Lin Xian had used his Eye of Cave Spirit and did not see anything else. Therefore, it was clear that the only way to pass through this place was to kill the abyss calamity. Then there's no other way. Mu Qianshuang's beautiful eyes focused. She stretched out her hand, and a sword appeared in her palm. Let's attack together, she said to Su Qining. Normally, she would be too lazy to speak nonsense and directly charge forward, but she still needed Su Qining's help. This also reflected how strong Su Qining was in Mu Qianshuang's eyes. Whoosh! The two girls rushed forward and joined the battle. Chapter 1775. Lin Xian scratched his head. He really didn't seem to be able to help much. A heavenly Tao realm 8-star had completely exceeded the level that Lin Xian could fight. If it was poison, Lin Xian thought for a moment. With his present ability, poison was definitely unable to poison an existence at this level to death. As for other abilities, there was really no other way. Holy shit! This realm was definitely an insurmountable gap. The main reason was that the difference in realm was too great. Icebound 1,000 miles. After Su Qining charged over, the sword in her hand emitted a blue light as she slashed at the abyss calamity and the surface of the sea. There was a burst of blue light as the entire sea surface within a radius of more than 10 kilometers, or even further, was frozen, including the gigantic abyss calamity. Well done. Everyone's eyes lit up when they saw this scene. It turned out that there was such a terrifying existence with the ice attribute among them. Lin Xian gaped. Holy shit. So powerful. This Miss Su Qining was also very powerful. Everyone go all out. Kill it instantly. An old man shouted loudly. However, just as they were about to attack, the abyss calamity that was sealed in ice broke free from the terrifying ice seal. Su Qining stood on the ice surface with her brows tightly knitted. Let's try it together, Mu Qianshuang said. Yeah. The two of them once again emitted a powerful frost force as large snowflakes floated on the surface of the sea. Shua. Two forces surged towards the abyss calamity. However, the abyss calamity's two gigantic tentacles blocked the two powerful frost forces. No. It's an 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star. Furthermore, it's an abyss calamity. Our strength isn't enough. Mu Qianshuang said with a frown. They definitely had the ability to fight across realms. Although it was nearly impossible to fight across realms at this realm, it was still possible to fight across realms. At this realm, the so-called crossing realms meant being able to defeat the opponent. Although they were very strong, their opponent was an 8-star Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star. There was a huge gap between an 8-star and a 7-star. Furthermore, this was an abyss calamity, an existence that belonged to ancient times. Its strength was terrifying. Roar! The abyss disaster roared angrily, and countless tentacles rushed into the sky. At the same time, the entire void became covered with dark clouds. The originally clear sky, at least the light was quite bright, but in an instant, it became as dark as night. Lightning flashed across a large area, lighting up this dark place. Lin Xian frowned. Not good. This lightning was obviously extremely powerful. At the same time, this place was restricted from flying. Moreover, they were standing on seawater, and water was conductive. Therefore, if this move landed, it meant that the seawater in this area would be filled with his powerful lightning power. It was too terrifying. Everyone attack. Everyone rushed over. The battle was extremely bloody, but in Lin Xian's eyes, they couldn't cause any substantial damage at all. No, there was substantial damage. The most dazzling ones were Su Qining and Mu Qianshuang. They even cut off the tentacles of this huge abyss disaster. But this was the power of the abyssal disaster. Its tentacles grew back in just a few seconds. F***CK. Who could withstand this? What could he do? What could he do? Lin Xian fell into deep thought. What could he do? These experts wouldn't die. It could even be said that many Heavenly Tao Realm 5-stars wouldn't die so easily, but the key point was that they were limited by their lifespans. They couldn't afford it. They had to think of a way to kill this abyssal disaster. Otherwise they would die. Everyone would die. Rumble. Terrifying lightning struck down in an unknown area. These lightning bolts didn't lock onto everyone. Instead, they fell randomly, blasting the ice surface, shattering it, and blasting into the seawater. The entire surface of the sea was surrounded by lightning. Ah! Screams of agony could be heard from all directions. Some of them were directly electrocuted and struck to death. Some of them were paralyzed all over and fell into the abyss, being dragged down by the tentacles below the abyss. Lin Xian released his powerful strength to defend against the lightning beneath his feet. Thankfully, although this monster was powerful, when all the lightning was spread across the entire sea, the power of the lightning wasn't that terrifying. In front of him, some Heavenly Tao Realm 7-stars were directly killed. Although it was difficult for a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star to die, the abyssal disaster's ability happened to have the effect of killing. Poison, paralysis, inability to use spirit energy, powerful strength, and then, save me. Save me. A Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star was bound by a gigantic tentacle of the abyssal disaster. It exerted more and more strength as his eyes began to protrude. He was a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star, and very strong. However, a Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star was even stronger. Furthermore, most importantly, when he was bound by the gigantic tentacle, he had already lost the ability to use his demonic powers. And without being able to release his demonic powers, how was he to escape from the tentacle? He had to release the strength of a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star to escape. So, Su Qining charged over and sliced off the powerful tentacle. There was no need to save him. But why should she? This was because any Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star was an indispensable combat force on this battlefield. Lin Xian was thinking of a solution. He was truly helpless. There was really nothing he could do. Can I lower this monster's realm from a Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star to a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star? Lin Xian pondered. This was because his realm-lowering domain ignored realms. As long as he had sufficient spirit energy, he could do it. Lowering the cultivation of a Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star by a Heavenly Tao Realm 1-star was impossible for others, but Lin Xian might be able to give it a try. This was because Lin Xian's spirit energy was extremely rich. And a Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star was just too powerful. Mu Qianshuang had said that the difference between 7-star and 8-star was a qualitative change. Then, if he lowered the abyssal disaster to a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star, together with more than 100 Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star experts, they definitely had the ability to slay the abyssal disaster. Let's give it a try. Lin Xian made up his mind. So Lin Xian charged over. After all, a domain had a range. Lin Xian's domain was unable to reach such a distance. So Su Qining landed in front of Lin Xian. Retreat, she said faintly. No, I might have a solution. It's fine. It has so many targets. It won't land on me. I'll give it a try, Lin Xian said. Su Qining knitted her brows tightly. So Lin Xian charged over. Come on. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He had even made some special preparations. Realm lowering domain, open for me. Chapter 1776. A surging energy burst out from Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's realm wasn't high, so this aura didn't seem like much. After all, he was surrounded by experts with higher realms than Lin Xian. However, after this energy burst out, the Abyss Calamity's aura decreased. It went from an extremely terrifying existence to as though the aura from its 100-meter-tall body was slightly higher than a Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. What's going on? Why did the Abyss Calamity's aura suddenly weaken so much? This Abyss Calamity seems to have become not strong at all. Although it's still strong, its aura seems to be at the Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. It went from Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star to Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star? It's him. Many people's attention was focused on Lin Xian. Excitement. Now, apart from shock, they were also excited. Originally, they even thought that they might be finished. If they couldn't resolve this abyssal disaster in a short period of time, then their time would be delayed, and some of them might even die on the way. There was no need to mention the rest of the journey. But now, the Abyss Calamity's aura had been reduced to the Heavenly Tao Realm 7-star. This was a glimmer of hope. Mu Qianshuang and Su Qi focused their gazes on Lin Xian. He was only at the Heavenly Tao Realm 1-star. But his domain was able to reduce the Abyss Calamity's realm by 1 star? Wasn't this a little too exaggerated? To be honest, this was extremely exaggerated. If you were at the Heavenly Tao Realm 1-star, reducing a Heavenly Tao Realm 4 stars or even a Heavenly Tao Realm 5 stars by 1 star was still acceptable, but you reduced a Heavenly Tao Realm 8-star by 1 star. Lin Xian didn't feel good at that moment. So Mu Qianshuang landed beside Lin Xian. Although she didn't wish to show too much, Lin Xian had saved her life after all. How is it? Bean-sized beads of sweat streaked across Lin Xian's cheeks. Hurry up and fight. I won't be able to last long. Yeah. So, then, feeling the hope of survival, everyone's fighting spirit soared. And they all rushed towards the abyssal disaster. Mu Qianshuang and Su Qining's ice seal made it difficult for the abyss disaster to break free. In a short period of time, Abyss Calamity was killed by the Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars. That was right. It was that easy. Previously, the Abyss Calamity at the Heavenly Tao Realm 8 stars had left so many Heavenly Tao and Heavenly Tao Realm 7 stars helpless. If this dragged on, it would probably kill everyone. But now, it had died just because Lin Xian had lowered its realm by 1 star. You can imagine the difference between a Heavenly Tao Realm 7 star and an Heavenly Tao Realm 8 star. Great. That's great. After killing the abyssal disaster, those people revealed excited expressions. I really want to say, Mom, I miss you. This was too blissful. Originally, they were already in despair, but this person suddenly appeared and lowered the abyssal disaster's realm by 1 star, allowing them to win and survive. Of course, they were indeed grateful to Lin Xian. But not many people came over to express their gratitude to Lin Xian. They were all prideful. They were all experts, and in theory, Lin Xian had saved their lives. But if they went over and thanked him, wouldn't that mean they had to repay him? Wouldn't it be normal to give him a spirit artifact or a heaven and earth spiritual item? Then it wouldn't be a problem if they didn't go over, right? Therefore, they chose the latter. They didn't go over. Right now, Lin Xian only felt dizzy and weak. He was severely exhausted and his spirit energy was completely empty. If not for his strong willpower, he would probably have fainted. But Lin Xian's figure swayed. So Mu Qianshuang landed beside Lin Xian and supported Lin Xian. She hurriedly took out a pill and stuffed it into Lin Xian's mouth. "How are you feeling?" She roughly knew Lin Xian's situation. He had overused his spirit energy and was severely exhausted. All he needed was rest. Lin Xian shook his head. "I'm fine. I'm just a little weak." With that said, Lin Xian fell towards her. Mu Qianshuang subconsciously supported Lin Xian and did not let Lin Xian fall on her. Su Qianshuang looked at Lin Xian. No wonder Master wants him to go to Mount Tianyao. She didn't understand it before, but now, Lin Xian's strength was ridiculous. Just the power of this domain was enough to lower his cultivation by 1 star of the heavenly Tao realm by 1 star. It was ridiculous. In any case, she had never heard of anyone who could do this since ancient times. Although he seemed to be in a bad state now, if she thought about it carefully, wouldn't it be several times easier if he lowered his cultivation by 1 star of the heavenly Tao realm to 7 stars? Even if he didn't have enough spirit energy, it shouldn't be to this extent. Wouldn't he still have spirit energy left after lowering his cultivation by 6 stars? Su Qianshuang also landed beside Lin Xian. She could use this to get closer to him. "I'm just exhausted. I'll be fine after some rest." Su Qianshuang took out a green leaf and handed it to Lin Xian. "Ah." Lin Xian opened his mouth and gestured for her to feed it to him. Su Qianshuang didn't think too much about it. After all, Lin Xian probably didn't even have the strength to raise his hand, right? Then she put the leaf into Lin Xian's mouth. Lin Xian closed his mouth and sucked on her finger. Su Qianshuang quickly pulled her hand away. "Bastard. Did he do it on purpose?" It didn't seem like it was on purpose, right? When a person was extremely tired, their brain might not work that fast. Furthermore, it was probably very tiring for him to even open his mouth, right? Therefore, it was normal for him to urgently want to shut his mouth, right? Ding. Deliberately taking advantage of a young lady. Adonis points plus 500,000. Lin Xian laughed inwardly. The others took a look. Holy shit. Who was this person? A heavenly Tao realm 1 star was actually protected by 2 beauties of that level. After all, they felt that regardless of the reason, Lin Xian was their savior. This was because without Lin Xian, it was really difficult for them to kill the Abyss Calamity. Wasting time was equivalent to expending their lives. Many of the others didn't come over. They directly charged forward. After all, there wasn't much time left. They had to quickly take a look. Was there an exit after killing the Abyss Calamity? Or rather, he had 2 choices. Either he continued to walk down, or he left. That was likely, right? After all, the Abyss Calamity was a heavenly Tao realm 8 star. They should be given a choice to leave, right? Thank you very much. Su Qianshuang looked at Lin Xian and said indifferently. Yes, this was how she wanted to get closer to Lin Xian. A life-saving grace. That was indeed true. Regardless of whether it was for her own reasons or her sincerity, this sentence was true. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.